So I just want to just let everybody know. Joy here. He joined one of the lives, I believe, earlier in the week or last week. I'm not sure. And you said that you are a socialist Democrat, correct?
Uh, I feel like Socialist Democrat is like it's like um, like you can say that you believe in socialism and democracy as like a concept, right? But then you also have like a party that's called Socialist Democrats that don't necessarily have to like that's just the party name, right? So like Democrats, right? Like they call themselves Democrats, right? But that's just the name of their private corporation, right? I don't know if you heard this stuff with that's happening in Florida, but they're basically deciding not to have a primary. So the Democrats are basically not being democratic. So I wouldn't I don't know if I
Well,
would.
the reason why I ask is because during the conversation you said
Yeah.
I am a socialist
Oh
Democrat.
yeah,
So
yeah.
just
No. Oh no, I'm a socialist.
also,
Yeah.
so you're not really with the Democratic Party,
I'm not with
like.
the Socialist Democratic Party, right?
Oh,
But I believe
okay.
in socialism.
I
Right.
could have sworn you said socialist Democrat. That's why I was like, he's represent
Mm.
he's supporting the Democratic
Well, I
Party and
mean,
he's a
I do like
socialist.
I think I do believe in those concepts like individually, right? Like I
Hmm.
do believe in democracy and I do believe in socialism, right?
Yeah,
But I don't necessarily like I'm not a party member of the literal Socialist Democrat Party of America, right? The actual corporation, the actual party.
got it. Okay, so then you just sort of identify or like the socialist agenda in general. Just
Yeah,
keep as a
yeah,
socialist, not pretty
yeah,
much following the Democratic Party that we have today
yeah.
in the
Sure.
country.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I just wanted to verify. All right. So, that being said, it would be talking to a socialist then. And that's the topic for tonight. So, let's get started. So, for you, how did it start? When you, I guess, during what age did it start for you that you realized, okay, I'm going to go as a socialist? During high
Um.
school, or when did it start for you?
Um. Honestly, like the first sort of socialist policy that I ever I really agreed with was probably universal healthcare, and that was like during Obama. But before that, like when I was in high school, I was like really into Rand Paul. Like I was like super into like libertarianism. I like I thought like basically like every other libertarian. Like I thought that the free market was like the best way to figure out, who is the best, right? Who's the who's the best at producing what, and it was like free competition, right? I thought that that was freedom, and but that sort of changed over time.
So, why do you like the Obama, Obamacare is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was the
Okay.
first sort of like specific socialist like policy that I really liked.
So, what did you like about it?
Um, well, Obama ended up like sort of backing down from a lot of the stuff that he was promising earlier. Like earlier, he wanted a single payer healthcare system, right? And the thing about healthcare is that basically the way like insurance companies make money is by betting that you're not going to get sick, this month, right? And like if you have a whole pool of people, right, everybody's paying a premium every month, right, and that's your profit, right? Obviously after all the liabilities, right? After somebody does break a foot or whatever, right? Like you're constantly making money off of those monthly payments. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say you and me are in the same we're in the same insurance pool, right? If I break my hip, right, and I got to get it like an expensive surgery, when we distribute that cost amongst both of us, amongst because we're everybody in the pool, right, it's going to be like, let's say if it's $50,000, it's going to be like $25,000 between both of us, right? So when we look at the pool of insurance companies, right, the smaller the pool is, the more expensive it is for everybody, right? So if you have a bunch of small insurance companies that have a bunch of these little pools, it's going to be more expensive for all these other little like companies that aren't able to distribute that risk, as opposed to if you had one government agency that was able to be the insurance company for everybody.
But Obamacare didn't really make it cheap for everybody, though.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's why I said, right, because Obama ended up backing down from a lot of the earlier promises he made.
So then, why would you like it if it didn't?
He introduced me to the concept of universal health care, right? But if you look at the people that were funding him, some of his largest funders were literally health insurance companies. So he was bought out. Like he might have been running. He might have believed that at the beginning, right? But I don't know. Maybe they offered him like a lot of I don't know, a lot of promises under the table or something. I don't know what happened.
So basically, you liked when Obama brought it up to the table, but once he implemented it, you didn't like it.
I didn't like the bait and switch, right? Because originally, he wanted a single payer healthcare system. Right?
So you felt like he lied to you originally then?
Yeah, because basically what he did was he mandated everybody to buy healthcare.
Okay. So wouldn't that automatically sort of like disappoint you or totally discourage you from following socialist like Obama himself?
Well, Obama was a Democrat, right? And
with socialist views because he was promoting socialist agendas.
True. But he wasn't able to implement those socialist like policies, right? He ended up using a more capitalist.
Well, he implemented Obamacare, and that was pretty socialist.
Yeah, I mean, it just made people buy their own health insurance, like basically, and it subsidized it for some people, but like it still kept the majority of the system. Like there's still huge insurance companies that are making billions.
Well, I can tell you, as at the time, as a business owner, I was getting destroyed by Obamacare premiums.
Really?
So it did help a group of people, but then you heard it the other side, and then you get into the unfairness of it. So that that has a pretty socialist sort of mentality where you're helping the poor, right? But then you're hurting the other side that's making more money.
I would say it's more of a like a liberal Democrat or a neoliberal Democrat a solution to this. Are you familiar with like neoliberals?
Well, you mentioned that before, but I'm saying you say you disagree. What do you disagree with?
I disagree that
because
that,
it did hurt. It did hurt the people that were making.
Sure. I'll concede it was a.
Okay, I thought you were saying that was not accurate because that's what I experienced that myself.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What was the thing that I was saying that wasn't accurate? When you said that, when you described Obama as being socialist, right? I would describe his marketing early as being socialist, but his actual actions as being just like regular like neoliberalism,
which is just like a step way back than socialist. That's what you're saying.
Well, here's the thing. Like Reagan was a neoliberal too, right? So was Clinton, right? Like I think neoliberalism is how it often involves a lot of like privatization. So like a neoliberal solution to public education would be like charter systems, right? It's not exactly a private system, right? Like there are private businesses that are functioning as schools, right? But you're paying those private businesses with like these vouchers, which is kind of like socialism, right? I think like when we think of neoliberals, it's always I like to think of them as like middle management for corporations, right? Like if a corporation like are you familiar with the
but wait, so you're saying that Obama had socialist agendas but eventually implemented neoliberalism?
No, I said Obama had socialist marketing.
Okay,
right?
Marketing. Okay.
Yeah, but actually was a neoliberal like when he implemented his stuff, right?
Okay. So so in essence he was a liar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he was a liar. I just want to clarify that. At least we're on the same
Yeah,
page on that. Yeah.
well, yeah, dude. Like honestly, I think Obama was like my first like dose of like reality. Because I like when he was running, it was hope and change, right? Everybody was so hopeful, but he was, like he won a Nobel Prize for not doing anything, and then
Well, I wouldn't say
yeah,
everybody, but a lot of people were. I would admit to
yeah,
that. Yeah.
but yeah, no.
All right. So then, you like the idea of that. By the way, just for clarification, right? Just for the chat here and everybody watching. So socialism, per Google, okay, political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. You agree with that
Yeah,
definition?
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So then Obama lied. He promoted socialism, but he didn't implement it per your standards.
yeah.
And then I think he was pretty socialist. But to you, it wasn't per your standards. Then what happens after that? You still don't go to the right side because definitely you're not a capitalist, obviously. So you wouldn't go Republican. So then Obama leaves the office. Trump takes over. What's your thought process at that point?
Um, I mean, it's pretty pessimistic. I don't know if you saw after the 2016 election where Sanders lost to Biden. There was a lawsuit from the Sanders campaign to the DNC, and it was basically saying that they were being unfair. And the
I saw
DNC,
that.
yeah,
I did see that. So
yeah.
you were a Bernie Sanders supporter, another
Yeah.
socialist.
I
Okay.
believe that you could change the system you can change stuff within the Democratic Party. Like I didn't know there was going to be such a power grab there, right? I didn't know that they were going to say, "Oh, this is a private corporation. We can basically appoint whoever we want," right? Yeah. Like, yeah, it's kind of scary right now. Like, especially like I mentioned Florida earlier. Like, if like this is basically a two-party system, right? This wasn't constitutionally enshrined in our government. It just sort of
But
like
hold on a second. Just going back a little bit.
yeah.
Trump takes over, and for you, it was pessimistic
No. Uh, uh, Seeing how Sanders lost to Biden.
to Biden or
Yeah.
Hillary.
No, to Biden. Or yeah, or, no, sorry, yeah, to Hillary. Yeah, excuse me. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. To Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't like Hillary,
No, I didn't like Hillary.
but neither you didn't like Trump either.
No, I didn't like Trump either.
Okay. So then, so
I
the
didn't think
Biden
Trump
law.
was serious. I didn't think. I thought Trump was just a joke, dude. Like, I mean, it wasn't until like much later that that it seemed, I don't know, like an actual threat. But I didn't take him seriously. Like, I thought Hillary was gonna win. I thought it was gonna be a shoe-in, but she fucked it up.
So you were one of those that were shocked that night.
Yeah.
Got
Oh
it.
yeah,
Okay.
dude. I think yeah.
I didn't think he was a joke.
You,
I
you
thought
should
he
have
was.
bet
I
money
thought
on
he
it.
was going to win, and I mean, I was right, but
Yeah, you should have
um,
bet money. You would have made a lot of money.
yeah, probably should have. So then, okay, so Trump wins, and then over the course of the next 3 years, we don't want to mention COVID because COVID is unfair. It collapsed pretty much every major country in the world.
Yeah.
So, not counting COVID, the U.S. thrives on the economy and employment and a lot of the aspects of the United States were just booming everywhere, right? Even Americans have more money in their wallets and whatnot. So, what was your take on that?
I mean,
Being a
I don't think that's
socialist,
true. I don't think, yeah, like there was just an article that said the stock market is booming, but like, why does everybody still feel so poor? I don't know if you pay attention to the stock market, but it's like gone up like
I'm actually an
7%.
investor. I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
but so then I'm sure you're aware of like recently that whole like it's just like shot up like I don't know what I think Warren what's his name Warren Bates no
Buffett.
Warren Buffett there you go. Warren Buffett said like nothing could prepare you to like nothing in economics could have prepared you to guess what would have just happened, where it was like I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do because so the thing is that we're also not counting the fact that the stock market nearly collapsed
Oh, really?
Yeah, the stock market nearly collapsed
But it's still good now, though,
before
right?
this bounce. Well, before
Yeah.
this bounce, yeah, under Biden, the stock market was collapsing and it was going to hell, and it was oversold
Well,
because of all the inflation news, mainly, obviously,
yeah.
right? And all the negative stuff, even the war that's happening right now. So a lot of things, the stock market gets scared of a lot of things. And so obviously, there was a lot of tech layoffs as well, right? I'm sure you
Yeah.
heard about that.
Yeah.
Since I know you mentioned about corporations and taxes on the last live too. So the stock market was on a dive, and then there was a lot of deals out there. There was a lot of companies oversold that didn't even have to go that low. So I think because it was so oversold, it eventually came back, and there was a lot of buying opportunity. That's what investors do. I wouldn't necessarily put Biden's policy as a way to make him the hero when it comes to the stock market return in the past year. I would say because it was so oversold and companies were still being profitable
Yeah,
that
I'm not saying that Biden like this is this is Biden's genius move. Like I
right,
don't think that the stock market is doing good because of him. I
right,
think that's sort of like when people say, oh, gas is down because of Biden, or gas is up
right,
because of Biden, right? Like
right.
he doesn't have actual controls to like what those things cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're saying that under Trump the economy wasn't booming. It was.
I mean,
Just because one
if
article
we
said that,
ignore COVID, I mean, maybe yeah, sure, but like,
but yeah,
um,
we have to ignore COVID because you got to be fair, right? Every economy collapsed.
okay,
Now,
but
if only the
to be
U.S.
fair,
collapsed under Trump, then I would have been like, yeah, well, he sucks. But
yeah,
it was
well,
everybody.
yeah, but I mean, so we're comparing Trump with like a handicap though, right?
No, we're comparing Trump
If
under Obama.
I know, but if you're saying like times were good, right? We have to say times were good asterisk uh, for a pandemic.
No, no, no. Under Obama, there was no pandemic, right?
Yeah,
We're,
no,
we're
I
talking
know, but
from there,
that's what I'm
from where
saying.
he picked up. I'm saying
I know, but we're comparing
because
two
a lot of
examples.
people were saying that under Obama the economy was great, all this stuff. Like the left
Yeah,
was
it
saying
was
that,
better.
obviously.
I mean, it was better.
Um, and then Trump took over, and then we just went on another level.
Yeah, well, I mean, what was his deficit? What was the deficit? Like, it was some crazy number, dude.
Well, we've always had a deficit.
No, no. After Obama, we had a.
Most of the time, we had a deficit.
I mean, that's not true. Like, I mean, just look at California. Like, every year we have a surplus.
But look at California, how it's doing in the streets. People are
I
running
mean,
away from California.
I mean,
So
I don't know if that's true.
is the thing where sometimes you also sometimes the numbers could look good or look bad on paper, but you also
Yeah,
have to see how it reflects
I
on the
agree with that.
streets.
I agree with that. No,
Because we saw the White House show a report about the economy the past month about the GDP and unemployment, and the numbers look
yeah.
beautiful when they announce it.
Well, here's the
But
thing.
when you go on the streets, people are
Yeah,
struggling to buy
yeah,
groceries.
that's
People
not.
are
Yeah, I
struggling with
agree.
gas prices. So
Yeah,
we don't, I don't really go by what they show on paper. I really
yeah,
like to see what's showing on the streets. You know, that's what I think anyway.
yeah. Well,
But
I'm
go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, no. I 100% agree with that. Like, that's why, like, like when we say, oh, the GDP is doing good, or when I mentioned that article earlier, where why is the economy doing so good, but like people aren't, feeling or still feel poor, right? Eggs still cost, $6, $7 or whatever they cost, you know. Um, yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. I think we both agree on that point.
But just going back to the socialist mindset that you have, right? In a
Okay.
perfect world,
Yeah.
right now, what would you change right now? Just to get to the main point here, what would make you think that this is what needs to be done to make the country better according to your ideas?
Um.
By the way, I'll let Jacob in a few minutes after
Yeah.
Joy answers.
Um. Or do you mean like what type of like governmental like
Yeah,
economic?
because socialism is
Yeah.
totally different than capitalism, right? So
Yeah.
obviously
Well,
there will have to be a lot of changes here. You mentioned taxes before. You
yeah.
mentioned healthcare. So can you give me like for our viewers a basic understanding of what you want the country to look like? If there was
Yeah.
a perfect candidate for you that would say, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," what would it look like?
Well, I think first we'd have to focus on campaign finance. I think like fixing that would give us the ability to fix our ability to get good candidates in the future. Secondly, like, wait, do you want me just to go through like all the like social policies that I
So
would like implement?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Right,
okay,
exactly. So
okay.
avoid the financing
Yeah.
for campaigning
So
for
campaign
campaigns.
finance, I'd regulate that. I'd make it so that way you can't like basically get these super PACs to give people, billions of dollars. I would obviously I would ban that stuff. I would make it so that way there wasn't a two-party system, right? That there was some type of multi-plural, system where people could choose, a variety of parties, sort of like how they have in Europe.
So
Um,
destroyed the idea of just Democrats and
yeah,
Republicans,
yeah,
just
yeah.
have it more open.
Yeah, I feel
Okay,
like
so no lobbyists, and then have more parties. What else?
yeah. So, um, I would do that. I would do healthcare, education, right? I would free healthcare, free education.
So
I
free healthcare for everyone and free education for
Yes,
everyone,
yeah,
including college,
yeah,
including master degrees as well, or just like
yeah, yeah.
masters as well. Okay.
Everything, dude. I feel like if you can do it, if we create metrics and bars for people to get past, and if you can
Mhm.
get past those bars, then yeah, you should get a scholarship.
Okay, so free healthcare for everyone,
Yeah,
free education, associates, bachelors, masters for everyone. What else?
yeah. Um, I would try to, I guess, the Federal Reserve. I'd take out the Federal Reserve.
Okay,
I
so
think that
completely eliminate the Federal Reserve.
yeah, yeah, I'd take out the Federal Reserve. Um, Obviously, I'd be cutting the
Who
military.
would control the money? Who would print the money?
Yeah, we would,
So the government itself.
yeah,
Okay.
and we could use that to fund things. We wouldn't even have to we wouldn't even have to like collect taxes. Like I feel like the math for like how we like how much we spent. I'm trying to remember.
So you wouldn't collect taxes from the citizens. So how are you going to be paying for all
No,
these benefits?
I'm trying to remember there's two different budgets that we have. We have a discretionary budget, and then we have the actual federal budget. If you look at the amount of money that we collect in taxes, right, it doesn't equal the amount of money that we already pay the government, right? What we pay the government is basically fucking like monopoly money. Like we could
You're talking about what we get as a refund?
no, like what the like the way
No,
that
because
we
you said
create
what we
money.
collect. We collect from the government. You mean like we collect what
No,
refund?
the way the Federal Reserve like works is they create money, right? So they let's say I'm the Federal Reserve, I create $100, right? I loan it out to you. You're a bank, right? And let's say I loan it out to you for 2%, right? So you have to pay me $102, right? But here's the thing, right? There's only $100 in the economy, right? So you have to like you like if you imagine like a bunch of you, right, you, your brother, your sister, right, all of you, and you realize that one of you realizes that you don't have enough money to pay for your tax to pay for your loan, right, you're going to try to like screw the other person out of it. Like it's just going to create this like environment where um yeah, dude, yeah, man, I'm yeah, I
So
don't
yeah,
know.
so just to clarify, okay, so abolish the Federal Reserve, and
Yeah,
then you said also eliminate taxes. So I go back to the same question:
yeah.
how will you pay for all of these free services
Yeah,
if the
well, I mean,
citizens
if
are
you're
not paying
printing money, right?
taxes?
Well, I mean, if you're printing money,
So you would just print it then?
yeah,
Just print it, just continue printing
yeah,
to pay for all of these
just print the
services.
passport. Just
Okay,
print the
what? So
passport.
then, why would anybody work at that point? What's the
What do you mean?
point?
Wait, why
Well,
wouldn't
if we're
like
well,
if I'm
if we're getting free healthcare, free
yeah,
education,
yeah,
and everything's getting paid for it because we're just printing money, why
yeah.
even work at that point? No,
Wait,
why not
I
just
mean,
print the money and just give us free food as well too? What
yeah,
about meals? What about
I
food?
would be cool with that. I would be cool with free food.
So free food, free housing as
Yeah,
well too.
yeah,
Like they'll buy you like a
yeah,
home.
yeah. Homes, dude. Weren't you there when we asked how much it would when we looked up how much it would cost to fix homelessness?
It'll be around $20 billion
Yeah,
per an article
that's
that we
dude,
read.
that's chump change, dude.
Yeah, well, no, that's to fix homelessness within the
Yeah,
system that we have today.
yeah,
But again, so I go back to your
yeah.
question. I go back
Have
to the
you
main question, right?
have
So
you
if we
yeah. Yeah,
if
no.
we
Have you
give
paid it? Yeah. Sorry, let me say this really quick.
go
Have
ahead.
you paid attention to the Pentagon audits?
I know that they had failed quite a
Yeah,
few times from what I
yeah,
heard.
yeah. Do you know how much money is just missing?
No, look, I'm not saying that there's not something fishy going on
Okay,
with the
but like I just
politicians.
yeah, but I want you to see how big of a hole there is in the budget, and then compare it to all these things that I mentioned earlier, right?
No, it's a big hole, but
It's
you
7
know,
trillion, dude. How much do you think we collect in taxes every year?
look, I'm one for tax cuts,
Yeah, I know, but
but
like how
from go
much?
from
Yeah, how much do
but
you
from
think we
go
collect in
from
taxes?
but from go from going from tax cuts, right,
Yeah.
to completely getting everything for free. It's a
Wait, listen.
big
Yeah,
whip.
listen. How much do you think we pay in taxes every year?
Like all the citizens together.
Yeah, yeah, like all our taxes.
I haven't really looked into, to be
It's a
honest,
trillion
how
dollars.
much it
It's
would
like
be.
around $1 trillion.
Yeah, that I figure probably would be around a
Yeah.
trillion, give
Okay.
or take.
Our entire government to run is $1 trillion, right? And that's with the military. Sorry, not even with the military. Sorry, that's the military cost is separate. But all of our social systems, all of our roads, all these things cost us like $1 trillion, right? And then we have the military over here. We have the Pentagon, right? And somehow they have a $7 trillion hole in their pocket, right? That means we could basically fund 7 Americas with the amount of money we lost in the Pentagon, right? If it only costs 1 trillion to do our government, right? Then yeah, dude, all this is chump change.
I'm not saying that we cannot afford it. Like you said,
Yeah,
if we just print free money, you can buy everything. But the point is, everything loses value at that point. So, what's
I
the
mean,
point of going to work if you're going to get free meals, free housing,
what do you
free
mean
healthcare,
value?
free education?
Wait, what do you mean everything loses value?
Yeah, if you're getting all of these degrees for
Mhm,
free, you're
mhm.
getting a
Yeah,
free house. Why would you want to go buy a house if you're going to get it for free?
yeah. Wait, why do you think people get an education? Do you think they get an education to get a job?
To improve of course, to improve their financial status. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they?
What if you could
And
get
to
an
work in a
education?
career that they would want to be in.
What if you okay, so what if you could get an education in the thing that you were most passionate at? Do you think you would be better at that skill than something that you only kind of liked?
I get your point,
Yeah.
but I go back to, if you get everything, why would
Yeah.
you go to work?
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're saying out of the kindness of your heart, is that what you
yeah.
mean?
No, no, wait. Like, I just want to like stay on that point of like just for a point, right? Because there's a little bit of a trade off here, right? In your system, right? People often choose a profession because it makes good money over things that they're passionate about, right? So what ends up
Not all
happening
the
is
time, though.
that's
It's not.
true.
It's not
That's true.
everybody. Some
That's
people are in
absolutely
the
true.
careers that they love.
That's 100% true.
I'm
I
in my
agree.
career that I loved. So
That's great. That's
yeah,
great. But what I'm saying
I
is
understand that not everybody is, but go
yeah.
ahead.
What I'm saying is that's not true for everybody, right? There are some people that, choose shitty jobs and they're stuck with shitty jobs, right? So if we're looking at, a system where people are being forced to work jobs that they don't like, right? Especially, when you consider, automation and the possibility of like, having robots, collect our trash or do, whatever, all the, jobs that we don't like, right? Like eventually it's going to get to a point where the people that got their degree in I don't know, physics or whatever, right? Or let's say even uh like fucking I don't know, painting or maybe music, right? Like the people that get their degree, that get the most practice, that get to hone their skills the most, right, are the people that are most passionate. So if we're comparing two systems where someone is only working at that job because it's paying them well versus someone who's at that job because like they really like it and they've like spent all this time on that skill, right? Like the amount of like the difference in skill level between those two people is going to be like astronomical. It'd be like looking at Michael Jordan versus just a regular person, right? Like some people are just like like if you're
Okay, so
able,
I get what you're saying. So you're saying is, if we have your system, your socialist
yeah,
system, we
yeah,
can let people go into their fields they love, not having to worry about money, and therefore our quality of of what we get from those products would be the best because people are
Yeah.
doing it out of the kindness of their heart and their
What I'm
passion.
saying,
Is that what you're saying?
what I'm saying, if you let people study the things that they love, then the type of professionals you get in that environment are going to be professionals that are passionate about the things that they're doing.
Okay.
Right?
So, okay. So, yeah. So that goes back to what I was saying before.
Yeah.
According to your idea, it would make things much better because people would love to do their job, even if it's for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, and again, this goes back to the socialist idea that everybody should be equal completely, correct?
I mean, I don't think that it necessarily like I feel like you could still have like like luxury goods, right? Finite resources, right? You could still have a market for those things and create like I don't know some type of metric, some type of like goal for people. Like for example, if
But
there's
what would
a
be the
really good
metric? Because again,
you
if you
could
give
do whatever.
everybody everything for free, how can you have
Well,
luxury?
well, here's the thing, right? There are going to be some resources that are finite, right? Like that's just an inevitability. Can we agree on that? Like there's not enough
Y-
caviar for everybody, right?
But right, but that's the thing of
Yeah.
socialists, right? That
Yeah.
you have to have equality. So then
Here's
at
the
that point,
thing.
you're breaking
Okay,
that
but here's the
rule.
thing. But here's the thing, right? As a socialist, right? I just want people to have their basic needs met, right? So, healthcare, right? Education. What was the other thing? Housing, food, right? I just want those like basic needs met, right? Everything above that, Xboxes, plasmas. We don't even have plasmas anymore. LCD screens, fucking, what? Just name whatever luxury, right? You could still have a market for those things. You could still create some, I don't know, some type of credit system, some type of voucher system. You could still have people working. I don't know. You could literally decide whatever job. Like maybe you want to be a trash collector for a couple days and you get like a PS4 or sorry, a PS5 or whatever, right? Like you could like the opportunities are endless. You could create all any sort of metric that you want to reward these people.
Okay, so let's say if in which out of this metric you're not sure which one it is, correct? Like let's say
Well, I'm
you
not
wanted to
talking
get a
luxury.
PS5, right?
Yeah,
And I wanted to get let's say my Tesla that
yeah.
I have now.
It's not that
So
I'm not
how
sure.
much different will we work at that point?
Well, here's the thing. It's not that I'm not sure. It's that it could literally be anything, right? So, like for example, what's your you said you were in the profession you love. Like, what's the thing that you love?
Oh, well, I do a lot of things.
Well, just give me one.
Clearly in the entertainment business. I'm
Okay.
in the technology business. I'm also in the investor business as well. I invest in the market as well. So I do a lot of things that I love, and I make
Okay.
money out of them.
Okay. So like, tell me about like the technology thing.
Okay, technology is basically software. You know,
Oh, okay.
troubleshooting and yeah.
Okay. So like, the cool thing about like software is that you have like metrics for how good something is doing, right? Yeah.
Correct.
So rather than having some middleman where we have an employer who, decides what to pay you, right, for solving this problem, and then they keep the profits, right? We could basically create bounties for, let's say, I don't know, you need a specific, I don't like website done or some back end, database thing. I don't know. I'm not into technology, right? But like by rewarding specific like goals within that framework that you have that industry, right? You can just cut out the middleman and just give them whatever uh, luxury might be like available at the time. Let's say fucking caviar is not in season, or maybe there's I don't know, a new like model of a certain car. I don't know, like you
So
can
in essence, rewarding those that are working harder than others, or will want to work harder to get those things.
it doesn't even necessarily be harder. Like it just like because there are multiple ways to solve a problem, right? You can solve a problem like in a really like convoluted way, or you can solve it in a really simple way, right? And like if you have a bounty where all you have to do is solve the problem and you're not prioritizing the way that they're solving the problem, right? You could end up creating I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm pretty tired right now. It's been a pretty long day for me. But
Okay, so
yeah,
look,
I could keep going
I'm
through it.
okay. So, what about this?
Yeah.
What about the lazy people?
Mm,
What
yeah.
about the ones that don't want to work? Which we have that right around the world or in this country. Let's focus on this
Mm,
country.
okay. Yeah.
What about the
That's
lazy
like,
people? So what about the ones you mentioned? Okay, I
yes.
get the ones you mentioned. They love
Yeah.
their profession, willing to do it for free because they get free housing, free
Yeah.
healthcare, they got education for free, free food. What about your neighbor that's completely lazy and just gets a house and a car the same as you
Yeah.
do? What about that?
Yeah. I think whatever it costs to cover them, I think it's pretty negligible compared to like the cost of seeing somebody on the street, right? If you see somebody that's starving, right, that's like that doesn't feel good for anybody. Um, as a price of dignity and of respect, I feel like that's a small price to pay. I don't view punishing laziness with extreme taking people's homes, making sure they can't eat, like do it like I don't think those are equal punishments. Um,
Well, I wouldn't say they're punishment under capitalism, but if you work
it's a
hard under
consequence.
capitalism,
It's
you
a
can get
consequence.
ahead.
Yeah, it's a consequence though, right? If you're
Oh,
lazy, if you don't want to do anything, right, then you're not going to eat. You're not going to have rent. You're not going to have any of that stuff, right? You're going to be left out in the cold,
okay,
right?
so because it's a small price to pay, obviously under your system, we're just
Yeah.
printing money. Like we're just
Well, we
drinking
already print
water.
money. Yeah, we already print money.
I agree. I
Yeah.
to a certain point, I agree with that. But under your system, everything will be totally for free. Um,
Well,
so
no, not
you
every,
go.
wait, hold on. Not everything wouldn't be totally for free, right? Like I mentioned
Well,
earlier,
you
you
said
could
the
still have
basic needs
luxury
like
goods.
housing,
Yeah, you could still have luxury
food.
goods though, right? Those
Yeah.
finite those you could have like a penthouse as a luxury good, right?
Okay. Okay,
So
but
yeah,
hold on. Going back to the main point though, because you didn't really answer the question. You going to work, right, Joey? You're going to work.
mhm,
You're a socialist. You're happy with the system
yeah,
that we have right now. You're going to work to do the job that you love the most for
yeah,
free. And your neighbor, you notice your neighbor next door is just not going to work, being lazy. He said, "Nope, my passion is just doing nothing."
yeah.
You would be okay with that.
I would be so if I'm doing what I love, I'm already happy, right? Why would that make like that's his decision. If he doesn't want to do anything with his life, right? Then yeah, let him have it. Like it doesn't bother me, right?
Got it. Okay, so you will be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
And then, so if the percentage of people, because some people in the comments are asking this as well, if the percentage of people that are being lazy and don't want to work starts increasing, you will be
Yeah.
okay with that as well. Like, let's say,
Yeah, like here's the thing.
most of your
I
neighbors
don't think
start
it would start
saying, "No, I don't,
increasing.
I don't want to work because what
Wait,
for? I get everything for free."
why do you think it would start increasing?
Because I think the notion that humanity or most people would, out of the kindness of their heart, go to work for free because they love a certain thing and they get everything for free, with all the respect, I think it's preposterous because
Okay.
it's not realistic,
Yeah.
and I get it because if you read the stuff that socialists talk about, it sounds really good actually. Oh, you get free health. Hold on, let me finish. I can answer your
Yeah.
question. It sounds pretty when they say it. Oh, you guys are gonna have free health care. Your kids are gonna go to college. I don't have to pay for it, right? And housing is gonna be, everyone's gonna no more homeless people. It sounds actually nice when they say it like that, right? But then we go back to that thing of being realistic is when you put everybody under the same umbrella and just make them equal, it's just unfair because
Mhm.
now you're being totally unfair to, let's say, a doctor that has to go and save lives. Sure, maybe he does like love his profession, but so the neighbor just going to be a complete bump and get the same reward as a doctor. That's just
Well, here's the thing.
unfair.
No. Right? Because what I said earlier was getting the your basic necessities met, right? If you're a doctor, obviously that's going to require more investment of your time, right? So if you're spending more time trying to hone a skill, right? Some more time trying to do something that's difficult, right? That could be a metric for merit, right? That could be a metric that we use to say, oh, this person.
So that's similar to capitalism, what we have today.
I mean, it could be, right? But it's actually like
But then
rather than using
you're
money,
breaking your socialist
no,
idea at that
it's
point
not.
because then we're
No,
going back to capitalism,
no, it's not capitalism. It's because capitalism requires privatized markets, right? It requires
and it's for profit.
yeah,
So
it
a
requires
doctor would profit more
markets.
than
It
a person
requires
that's not
poverty as a
doing.
threat. Yeah, it requires poverty as a threat. It requires hunger as a threat, right? That's how the system works, right? It works by basically coercing people. If you don't do it, if you're a lazy person, right, then you will be on the street, right? And that, as we said earlier, right, what's stopping us, right? If we look at the amount of money that we've literally lost to the Pentagon, right, we could have paid for our entire government without our taxes. We could have paid 7 times over. Like it's like the only reason we don't do it is because we don't run our government. Like, do you think like who do you think is in control of our government? Like, do you think we're in control of our government?
Well, clearly not right now.
Yeah, no. Well, who do you
And
think
look,
is?
I don't want to get into this conspiracy theory stuff, right? Because we
I
can
don't think it's a
get in.
conspiracy theory. I think it's just people with money. That's capitalists.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that
Private
because,
industry, dude. The
yeah,
government is just middle management for corporations. I was
yeah,
going to ask you earlier. Are you familiar with the United Fruit Company?
with the United Fruit Company.
Yeah.
No, not really. What
No,
about them?
you've never heard like of like the all the like the banana wars like in Central America because of them?
I haven't really. No, I haven't heard about
No.
that.
Okay, so basically, this happened with not just Dole banana, but it happened, or sorry, Dole pineapple. It happened with a bunch of fruit, but basically, since a lot of this stuff is grown in Central in Latin America, um, a lot of those countries started trying to like nationalize their plantations, right? The things that they grew all their food on. And what happened was our government ended up taking some of their people and training them in the College of the Americas to basically go back as guerrillas and like literally slaughter people. And like there's, are you familiar with the Guatemalan genocide?
No, I haven't. And
No.
again, all these things, and again, all these things that I would have to, look
This
into
is yeah. This
and
is really.
verify. Because again, I like to do that once we have
I'll,
someone in
I'll
live.
send you. I'll
Just
send you
look.
some links. I'll send you some a list of stuff.
Please do so. So
Yeah.
again, I can't verify this. So
We can talk.
he's just
We can
saying
talk
that
again. We can talk again later. But
absolutely.
but basically, the reason our government did that was so that these private companies, the United Fruit Company, could go in and buy up land and sell cheap fruit to America. That's the entire reason that happened, right? It was the government being the American companies, like
Was this
attack dog,
proven, by the
basically.
way?
Yeah, dude.
Like, was
Yeah,
this actually
a
like
hundred
reported on
percent.
several
I will show
outlets?
you. I will show you. I will show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but just going back a little bit back. Okay, so you said that according to you, corporations run our government, which
Yeah.
may not even be that far fetched. Okay, I'll give you that. But under a socialist government, who would be in control then?
The
If at
people
that
that
point you eliminate corporations,
the people that vote, we could make this a true democracy.
but you wouldn't agree that socialism is just one step away from communism,
I mean, communism is socialism.
and communism is completely just the government controlled by the government
Well,
being controlled
yeah.
by a small group of people,
Well,
not the people.
no, 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 no. So communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. If when you look at the USSR or China, right? These were Stalinist governments, right? Or, Leninist Stalinist governments, right? And then you had Maoist governments, right? Basically, here's the thing: when you look at the history of those countries and what they had to rebel against, right? The thing that they were fighting against was awful, dude. Like they like the Russians were basically slaves. They were serfs, and the Chinese, like the actually I don't know enough about the Chinese, but I do know that there's like they had some like generational beefs. It's pretty crazy. Um,
Hold on. So
but
because you said right now that socialism and communism are the same thing, so you
yeah,
consider yourself a communist as well.
no, because I still believe that you can have markets for some things, right? Like I mentioned earlier, like I believe in socializing those basic necessities, right?
But
But I
then that's
still
sort of going back to neoliberalism, where you have
no, no,
some
no, no,
form
no.
of capitalism.
No, neoliberalism is when you is the difference between like a neoliberalized like educational system and a socialized educational system would be a neoliberalized educational system has private charter schools that are getting paid with government money versus a socialized educational system where the educational system is run by the people, right? The representative government that we elect.
Yeah, but neoliberalism also has parts of capitalism in it.
Yeah, but the companies that we're hiring, right? Those aren't accountable to the people, right? We don't get a vote for their policy or their CEO, right? We just get to hire these businesses. We basically have to auction off.
Okay,
Like,
but let's hold on 1 second, because just
yeah,
5 minutes ago you said that uh, socialism and
yeah,
communism were the same thing. You said that, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Here's
but
the
then
thing:
you also said you were a
socialism.
socialist. So
Wait, wait,
if
wait. Hold on.
socialism and communism was
Yeah,
the same thing, wouldn't you be the same? Wouldn't you consider
no,
yourself a communist as
no,
well
no,
then?
no, no. No.
Why
Here's the
not?
thing, right? Imagine it like I'm saying shoes, right? I'm like the category of socialist, right, is like the category of shoes, right? Within the category of shoes, you can have Nikes, right? That would be like communism. That is a specific type of socialism, right? That's what I'm saying, right? There, like, because I still believe that you can have, like a market beyond just, those basic needs that we were talking earlier. If we just met those basic needs and we still had like a market for like whatever finite goods, whether you use money or some type of voucher system or some type of point system, like it doesn't really matter, right? Like it's kind of arbitrary at that point, you know but yeah.
So you would be okay to be under a communist government then?
Well, I think it would be better than what we have now.
Okay. So just
Yeah.
for context, everyone. So again, just to pull up the definition of
So yeah,
communism.
if
Okay.
I if I had
So
to pick, yeah, if I had to
yeah,
pick between communism
what we
and
have right now.
yeah, then I would choose communism, right? But if I
Okay.
could if I could pick with socialism, right? If I could, the thing that I was telling you earlier, because communism doesn't necessarily like it. There's
Okay,
no
hold on. Let me
money.
just, for everyone watching, let me just share the definition here.
Yeah,
Communism is a type of government as well as an economic system.
yeah,
In a communist system, individual people do not own land,
yes,
factories, or machinery. Instead, the government or the whole community owns these things.
yeah,
Everyone is supposed to share the wealth by everyone is supposed to share the wealth that they create. So the government is in control, which is, it's not like you said the people are in control. The
yeah.
government
It
is
said
in
the community.
control.
It said the community as well, right?
No,
It didn't say that.
in a
I heard you say
communist
the community.
system, individual people do not own land, factories, or machinery. Instead, the government or the whole community owns these
There it
things.
is. The whole thing
Yeah,
is
but
government or
when
the
you,
whole community.
yeah, so what these communists do though, and I'm telling you because Chavez
Yeah,
in Venezuela did the same thing.
yeah,
They claim that it's the people owns this, but it's a small group of people
yeah.
of corrupt politicians that own everything instead of
Okay.
having what we have now under the capitalist system, right?
But
Because I
here's the
can open
thing.
a business right now,
Yeah.
and maybe it could be the next Amazon, maybe not, but I
Okay.
have that chance, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
on the communist, I have no chance. It says it right there. Individual people do not own land, factories, or
Yeah.
machinery, and it does say or the whole community, right? But the whole community is a small group of people within the government.
No, the whole
And
community is the whole community.
no,
It's the
no,
whole community. That
no.
the whole community.
Yeah, I'm saying they use that term to manipulate the people
Okay, so
and tell them.
okay,
Yeah,
all
but
right.
it goes back to what I told you before about people out of the kindness of their heart to go work for free. What I mean by that is that if you think that this communist government is going to be so sweet and kind and let other people, have control over them, it's not going to happen. The moment they are on top of you and they have control over the land and everything, we are screwed.
Yeah. Do you remember earlier how I was talking about how if we look at socialism, right, as like just the concept of shoe, and then we look at communism as like Nikes, right?
Okay.
Okay, so basically, imagine you have a bad experience with some Jordans, right? And then you take that bad experience with Jordans and you apply that to all shoes, right? So because we're looking at, so like Soviet Russia, as I mentioned earlier, they were Stalinists, right? And China were Maoists, right? And they were both these things, right? They were both like a lot more centralized and a lot more violent because they kind of came from like a violent circumstance, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do as they did to be
I get your point that yeah, you're saying not everybody's the same, but at the same time, you just mentioned that our government is doing a lot of shady things,
yeah.
and they have oversight. Imagine, and they
No, they
have
don't.
oversight. So,
No, they don't. No,
well,
they
they
don't.
have some form of oversight, right? So
No.
imagine if a small group of people own everything and control everything, and they don't have oversight because they are above everything. You
But it's not a
think
small group of people, though,
it will be the
right?
government at that point?
It's a whole community.
It's their community, their small community.
Well, okay, but
That's
you're reading
exactly
into
what
that.
that's exactly what I'm telling you. What happened in Venezuela was the same
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Hugo Chavez, when before he went into power, he had the same talking points, telling
Okay. So how
everyone, "You're
about
going to
this?
have free this, you're going to
Okay.
have
All
free
right.
that,"
How
because
about
we
this?
have a lot of money in the country. Similar to
Okay.
hold on, similar to what
Yeah.
you were saying right now. We have so much money, we can pay for everything, for healthcare, for eradicate homelessness, and everybody was so excited. I mean, I was too little to even know what happened, but I rewatched all of this history. And everybody was so excited. And then he got on top of everything. And then he destroyed the
Hmm.
country because he took all the power for himself and his community,
Yeah.
which it was a large group of people, but in contrast to the country, it was a very small group of
Yeah.
people. Joy, do you mind before we continue? I have a Finger here wants to join to ask you something. Do you mind if I put him on?
Yes. Sir.
Okay, I want to accept Joy Finger. I asked Joy for permission. He's a special guest, so I want to respect that. Go ahead, Finger. You have a question.
Yeah, I just want to say this. A communist society, there are no hardworking, thriving entrepreneurs. There are no visionaries because it gets you nowhere. You have to share. If you work your butt off, the guy that works beside you just slack, y'all are getting the same thing. And I would never want to live in a society where if I work hard, my work is not paid for, it's distributed out to the lazy people also.
Mhm.
Um, you the way the world should work is you get what you sow. Whatever you sow, that's what you reap. If you're lazy and you kick back, that's what you get. And that's how in a communist society, there is no way you would ever get me to be communist because it doesn't work. Hell, look around. Why is America the greatest country when it comes to communist countries? America is 10 times better, bro. You can do whatever you want here. Communist place, they tell you what to think. They tell you what to do. You're gonna do what they tell you to do. And if you step out of line, they're gonna smash you like a bug. That's
All
how
right, so
communists
so
work.
just to piggyback of what he said, I don't want to like double team, go
Yeah.
2v1 on Joy here, but
Mhm.
Joy, just a
No, no,
question,
I'm
right?
not. I'm
So
not trying to attack nobody.
no,
Yeah.
I
No, it's
just
okay.
clarify because
Yeah.
I'm the host and I'm trying to be also a little bit
It's okay.
balanced here.
It's okay. It's
So
okay.
so Joy,
Yes,
just
sir.
to sort of piggyback of what a Finger said
Hmm.
here, from the communist countries or governments that we've seen in history, right?
Yeah.
How come America has had the most and is the most technologically advanced country in the world? And most of the things that even communist countries benefit from
Hmm.
comes from America. So why wouldn't it be the opposite way around if people are doing it out of the kindness of their heart,
I
as you
mean,
mentioned earlier?
when we look at America, America has both socialist policies and it has both capitalist policies, right? The fact that we have public schools, right, and public universities, right? Obviously, it's not available for everybody, right? We don't have grants and scholarships for everybody, right? The fact that we've invested so much money into these institutions has given us more science, right? The fact that we created NASA put us on the moon, right? NASA is a centrally planned bureaucracy, right? That isn't accomplished by the market, right? It's totally government run, and they
But Joey, that's a small portion though. What about Google, Amazon? What about Nvidia?
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
but
know,
here's the
these
thing:
are private
the whole
companies.
world,
yeah,
the
but
whole
those
world.
private companies, right, have people that were educated in a system that had socialized education, right, to some degree.
Not 100% though.
Not 100%. You're right, not 100%, right? But like for example, like if you look at the USSR, right, before the Soviet Union, their literacy rates were something like 10%, right? Like, do you know what it was like for like 4 years after it? It was something. Wait, I think it was like the Soviet Revolution happened in like the 20s, right? When we look at like Soviets in like the like 30s into the 40s, right? They basically completely industrialized, right? They have engineers when before all they were illiterate farm workers, right? In those short 20 years, right? They went from the one of the like basically a third world country to competing with the largest, most powerful country in the world, right? So it wasn't just like it didn't produce like anything good, right? It was
But
still
they
the
but they
second most powerful.
fell though. They fell.
Why do you think it fell?
Well, you tell me.
They voted against it. They Boris Yeltsin basically like held a minority vote and like decided to dissolve the Soviet Union, and they began to auction off parts of the government. And then when that happened, you basically saw the sharpest decline in public health, in infant
But
mortality
why would
rates.
that happen if everything was like you said, it was working so
They
well?
no, that's once they decided to sell off the government, right? Once they decided to privatize the government, right? That's when all that stuff happened, right? If you look at the trajectory of like infant mortality, right? There's a dip in the 90s, right? And there's a dip in the 90s because that's when they started. It's called what was it called? Economic shock therapy, I think. If you look that up, right, that's basically the treatment that the U.S. and the IMF gives to countries that were formerly like communist leaning, right? That's one of the things that like we basically like it's basically like an economic weapon. What we do to people with that.
Okay, so this is per uh let me see. UN Academy. Okay, the fall of the USSR started a series. The fall of Berlin Wall started a series of events that
Yeah.
led to the disintegration of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Economic weakness, political stubbornness, and the growth of nationalism were the causes for the disintegration of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, but they had to vote it out.
It's because the government over there, they do whatever they want. So the government holds all the power. They're not going to put money where it needs to go. They're going to put it where the top people in the government want it to go, whether it needs to go there or not. That's why that's their military. They built their military up during the Cold War to the extent of people starving. So I don't hear anybody talking about all the starvation going on in Russia, but there was a lot of starvation going on during that time. There
Yeah,
was a lot of
more.
just miserable conditions.
Yeah,
Like
I actually know a
these
lot about that.
apartments and stuff they were putting the people in. I don't
Yeah.
know if you ever seen the inside of a Russian apartments and stuff, the government owned ones. They looked horrible, dude. I wouldn't want to live in them. I tell you that. They
Would you
look
rather live
like
in Skid
they're
Row?
run down, they're
If you had to
raggedy.
choose between that or Skid Row, what do you think is better?
Well, see that you ain't got to choose between Skid Row because see that's why you pull
Some people
yourself up
do,
and you do what you're supposed to do, and
but
you
some
won't be
people
on
end up
Skid
on
Row.
Skid Row. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some
Right.
people end up on Skid Row, and you know what? A lot of the people that end up there, besides the mentally ill that we need to start
Veterans,
taking care of, that is one of our problems. We don't take care of the mentally ill.
the
But
veterans
the
too.
a lot of the people that end up on Skid Row, they put themselves there by their choices.
Like
They
what? Drugs?
choose to do that. They're happy with that
Yeah,
lifestyle.
like
I
drugs,
mean, they don't want to do better.
like drugs, right? Like drug addicts.
Drugs, yeah.
Okay.
Drugs is a big, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
choice you make, though. See, everybody wants to
Okay.
blame somebody for their downfall. You
Hey.
know what I mean? So, and I'm tired of hearing that because you
Yeah.
know what? I've done it all, brother. I've done the drugs. I've come back from the drugs. I've done it all. But you know what? It was my choices that made me fall. And it was my choices that picked me back up. So you make bad choices, you're gonna have a bad life. That's just the
Small
way the
finger.
facts roll.
Yeah, small finger.
You know,
If you have alcoholism in your family, do you think that makes you more likely or less likely to be alcoholic?
I do have everybody has
Yeah.
alcoholism, and it don't matter what you're addicted to. It
But
doesn't matter the
I'm not
substance.
asking like you
You
specifically.
have
I'm
to make
asking
a conscious
like
choice to
statistically.
change what you're
Okay,
doing.
hold on. Let's let Joy go ahead.
Yeah.
Joy, ask the
Yeah.
question.
Sorry. Yeah. Like I'm not asking like you specifically. Like I'm asking you like do you think when we look at the population, right, and we look
Hmm.
at families that have alcoholism in their family, right? Do you think people are more likely to become alcoholics if they see their dad drink, or if they don't see their dad
It
drink?
is a genetic trait, and
Yep.
if you
Okay.
know that your dad's alcoholic, but see what happens
Okay.
is like
But okay. All right.
my dad was an alcoholic, okay,
Yeah.
but you know what? When I seen my dad drunk all the
Mhm.
time, that made me think, and I said, you know what? I'm not going down that road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the next generation doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic. And you know
Yeah.
what? I don't even drink except for New Year's and birthdays and
Well,
special
you know what?
occasions.
Here's the thing. I kind of agree with you here, right? Because like I do agree that you do have some choice, right? And it's good that you were able to make that, right? But as we were saying earlier, right? Because like addiction is genetic, right? For some people, right? Making that decision is how can I describe it, right? Is like I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
running up a hill with like small
yeah,
legs,
man. I
right?
get you. I get
Like
you. I
they have the
get you on
same
that.
like chance. It's like, but it's like a carny game, right? They gotta throw their ball into a hoop that's a little bit smaller than everybody else, right? And because of
Right.
that, right, some of those people, right, are it's just statistically speaking, right? Like
Hmm.
if you're more likely to be an addict because your dad's or your mom's an addict, right, over the population, right, when we look at people that are like addicts and on the street, right, a lot of those people are going to be there because of their genetic inheritance, right, because their parents were addicts, right. Some people like grow up with horrible lives and they do great things, right, but
Yes,
also
sir.
sometimes that a lot of times that doesn't happen, right. Some people like
A lot
most.
of times it doesn't happen. Like I said, it's all about the choices that you choose
Yeah.
to
But so
make.
Joy, so going back to what you said, according to you, it's just some people just don't even have a don't stand a chance, according to what you're saying.
I think that like I don't know if I'd say like that there like some maybe there is. I don't know. I'm not like a biologist. I don't know enough about
Okay, Joy, do you mind if I let Jacqueline enter? She wants to ask something. Okay, Jacqueline, welcome. Go ahead. Joy is a special guest. You can ask or share a statement.
So I want to go back. Thank you so much for allowing me to work in here. I'm getting ready to get into my PhD because I have a background in psychology and behavioral health. I have a son who's severely mental ill. So I've had this for 31 years. And going back to what he's saying, and I do have a background with my former husband was an alcoholic. And then, so I understand what he's talking about, but what you need to understand that we here locally and national wise, there are free services for anyone, freedom of choice. That's the
Yep.
greatness about this country. I come from El Salvador. I
Okay.
was an immigrant who sought asylum from my own country because I was escaping a 5-year war where I was watching around the clock
Yeah.
war, living, fighting.
Yeah.
Millions of people died. When you came to the
God
United
bless you, girl.
States, when I came to the United States, this country, I only wore what I was allowed to wear and the passport. And it gave my family, all of us, the opportunity to have a brand new beginning.
Yep.
If you,
Yeah.
I have family still back
Mm-hmm.
in communism right now. I still
El
have
Salvador, El
family
Salvador
that's
isn't
still that.
communist. El Salvador isn't communist.
I didn't say El Salvador is communist, but they tried to convert it into communism. Okay, that
Yeah.
was the reason we had that over
Yeah.
20 something plus
How
years of
much?
war.
By
How
the way,
much?
Jacqueline, some people in the comment section are saying that they are
Jacqueline.
glad you are here in America, and I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Jacqueline.
for everything this
Yeah.
nation has to offer to any immigrant that comes in here. When I was, like I said, just think about it. I came here only with the clothes that the country allowed me to wear. When my application was accepted and my family's too, and I'm going towards my PhD. Doesn't that tell you that this America, this soil,
You
you
go,
come with
girl.
nothing, You can get anything. That's what the Constitution says. You are free
Preach
to
it, girl. Preach it.
pursue your happiness, whatever that happiness may be. Become an entrepreneur, start your business. Whatever that happiness is to you individually, you have the choice.
Yep.
I don't have that choice as a female in my home country.
Nope.
In El Salvador, my mother is from Honduras. We don't have those liberties too. Women don't have the freedom to go and educate themselves. This country has free scholarships. You do well,
Yeah,
you go
Jacqueline.
apply for grants
Zoe,
and get
I
an
heard you.
educational for free and
I heard,
become whatever that is to be.
Can
Okay,
I add
let's
to that?
let's let Joey respond. Go ahead, Joey. You have the word.
Jacqueline. Have you ever heard of Operation Condor?
I have not.
I want you to Google what that is, because everything that you're talking about that happened in El Salvador, it happened in Guatemala, it happened in Honduras, it happened in Mexico, and all when you look at the people that perpetrated all of these massacres, all of these genocides, um, all of those people were educated in something called the College of the Americas. If you look that up, right, look up the people that graduated from there, and then just go through Wikipedia and just click their names and see what they're responsible for. Have you has oído del El Mozote massacre?
No, no he hablado de Seto Másico.
No.
Yeah, Joey, but
Look
we're
that
going
up.
back into history. What was she?
Hold on. Look that up. That was a massacre of 1,000 people in 2 days, and that was an anti-communist military that was trained by the United States. We did that all over Central America, all over South America. Pinochet, right? That the dictator that basically, he's from Chile. He disappeared people. He tortured people, right? He did that because he was trying to find communists, right? Please just look up Operation Condor, look up College of the Americas, and I promise you, everything that you think that is good about them, there are good things about America. I 100% agree. Like, we do have good education. We were talking about that earlier, right? But the way that we pay for that stuff is by going to other countries and just bleeding them dry. That's what we did to Guatemala. That's what we were doing to Africa. That's what we're doing to all these other third world countries. We're like vampires, right? That if they even decide to try to be socialist,
Come on, buddy.
But Joey, how is that sucking them dry? What do we get out? What do we get out of that?
No. Listen. If a nation wants to nationalize a resource, like they want to nationalize their oil, what ends up happening is that the IMF won't give them loans anymore, right? They'll basically be iced out of the entire global trade economy, right? That's not the free market, right? A free market is letting everybody trade with everybody, right? That's just bullying, right? We intentionally isolate Cuba. We intentionally isolate Cuba. We didn't even give them vaccines. That's the craziest thing. They even had a vaccine, right, that they were giving to Mexico, and they had it before us. We didn't even want to take it. Like, it would have been free.
Joey,
Go ahead, Finger. You can respond.
Who spends more helping other countries than America? Nobody. Nobody.
Hold on, Joey. Let him finish. Go ahead, Finger. You can finish.
We send a
Hold
lot
on,
of
Joey.
money.
Let's let Finger. Let's let Finger finish. Let you speak.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Finger.
We spend more on foreign aid and foreign help than we do for our own self sometimes. You know, we don't even like Jacqueline, what she's talking about. In her home country, I guarantee you, all they expect out of her to do is pop out babies and not have no kind of life and feed the babies and feed the husband, and that's all you do. Am I lying, Jacqueline? Please respond to that quote.
You know what? That is why I was telling him that I just think about it. I came here with nothing. And not only did I graduate, I'm graduated, with a master's, and I am an entrepreneur. My family, all my other family that was allowed to, they're
a PhD.
they're entrepreneurs, they're business owners. My daughter, just think about my only female daughter. If I would have had my daughter back in my home countries, she has a master in social sciences, and she has also an electrical engineer degree, working in a 99.9% male dominated occupation. She's thriving, and she's a half Latina and half white.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta, and my son right now, he's serving the military, he's out in deployment. All my children are thriving because this United States allows anyone that has a vision, whatever that vision may be, you can come and let it manifest itself, and then you can go back to your home countries like I do and help my family that I have back there
Mhm.
and continue to pay forward. And that is what I do. I help people in immigrations do their paperwork. On the weekends, I've been doing this for 20 years, going to all these associations, helping, do immigrations. I go to the hearings. I make sure their advocacy, their application is submitted, their permit, whatever they, whatever that is that they need. That's how I'm paying it forward to the United States, because not was I thankful for what they have done for myself and my family, but I also have to be thankful for all the other people in the United States that say, we can welcome you as long as you abide by the books. I don't have no felonies. I am a abide citizen. I vote when I need to vote. I pay my taxes. Like I said, I pay everything that I need to do. And that is what I taught my children too, to appreciate everything that we have in here. And now they're paying it forward. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Jacqueline, but just to go back to what Joey said earlier, though, that he's blaming the U.S. for the conditions of these other countries, right? Central America, South America, right? Can you elaborate on what's happening right now with El Salvador with President Bukele?
Okay, so Bukele, I'm going
And
to
then I'm going to add Lou, if you don't mind, Joey. She wants to ask something too.
So
Okay, go ahead, Jacqueline.
I'm going to go see
Before she gets into
Bukele.
that, can I ask her something really quick?
Okay, but can you hold on to that question, Joey? Just because the comment section asked for her to explain about Bukele, and then I'll let you ask. Go ahead, Jacqueline, briefly and respond, and then we'll give the word to Joey.
Oh my God! So Bukele done nothing but outstanding. He got rid of the corruption. He's running for re-election right now. Our families are able to walk in the streets and not think about being murdered. Do you know, when I lived back home, they will kill everybody. If you were not part of the Mara Salvatrucha MS-13 or Barrio Ocho, they will kill it. They don't just kill you. The woman,
Everyone, please mute so Jacqueline can explain better. Thanks.
they rape, the females get raped, and the young boys get, whether you desire or not desire, you have to join the Mara Salvatrucha, which is MS-13. That's when Donald Trump was talking about, and then the media misrepresented his message. MS-13 started in South LA, and they started to get deported. Okay, my family still lives back in El Salvador. Okay, in many of the cities, they were in control of everything. They will go to small towns. I used to live in San Salvador and San Miguel. They will go over there, and if they wanted to take the whole entire city, they will just take over it. And if you didn't leave, they will do massacres. We're talking about swiped a whole family. The whole family will be taken away. Bukele got rid of all of that. The corruption of government, all the control by the MS-13 and any gang related things. He has clean house. And just right now, recently, I don't know if you've seen it, but just recently he announced it publicly. He said he asked for all his people that were under his administration right now, they all are being investigated if they committed any type of fraud or they robbed the citizens of the country, and they're going to be processed as he promised. He does not want to be known that he was surrounded by thieves. He does not want to know that he is being remembered as a thief president. He is cleaning house. Everybody is with businesses. Tours are coming back. They just had the Miss America in El Salvador. We're thriving.
I may go there at some point. Some friends told me that it's really nice now, so I've never been.
Beautiful, beautiful oceans. So
maybe I'll contact you. Let me know where I should go.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Joey, you want to ask something, and then I'll let whoever you want to ask respond, and then we'll get the word to Lou. Thank you, Finger. Go ahead, Joey. You got on mute. You're on mute. Joey, we can't hear you. You got on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I wanted to ask one thing, but then when you started talking about MS-13, I wanted to ask another thing. But I'm just going to ask the first thing. If I can ask the second question too, I don't want to have like two parallel conversations going.
Okay.
So I'm just going to stick to the original thing, right? Jacqueline, do you think our government? Do you think the United States government is purely capitalist?
You know what? With what we have right now in the White House, I think we have converted to drastically a lot of corruption. I mean, if I come from you know, I have members in Cuba. I have members in other places, even in Venezuela, family members.
Yeah.
I know what communism is, and I know how to smell it. If you lived it and you've been surrounded since
Okay. All right.
birth, yes.
But I'm asking you, do you think our government is purely capitalist? Like up before Biden?
Before Biden,
Yeah.
it's, you know what? I think that since Clinton and Obama, I think we have shifted
Okay.
drastically
What? All
towards
right. Fine. What about before Clinton? Or what about before Clinton? Do you think we were purely capitalist then?
I cannot go back all the way to that data, so I can just talk from where I can follow
Okay.
my
So
I can answer. I can answer that.
yeah.
I believe that there was a certain mix for sure. There were some public
Yeah.
services,
Okay.
absolutely, for people that need
Yeah.
it, but that doesn't mean that is based on a socialist
No.
economy.
I agree.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
It's mixed.
Yeah, so that's the point that I wanted to make, right? Because the thing that I was criticizing is capitalism, right? And she took that as me criticizing the United States, which isn't purely capitalist. It has some socialist programs, right? It has free education, it has, scholarships, it has Pell Grants, it has, it's a mixed system.
A small section, though, is based out of a
Yeah,
capitalist
true.
economy.
I
Yeah.
mean, like most science is done by public institutions. Like, I don't know if you know that. Like most big like inventions, like the internet, the microchip, like most of that stuff is like military that we ended up getting like as like secondhand scraps.
But it all comes from capitalism.
No, well, yeah, in a way it does, but we fund it through socialism, right? We fund it through everybody pooling their money together and basically going to the lowest bidder for today's new AR or whatever.
Yeah, but it gets funded from
most of the
taxpayer.
money comes from the top 1%,
Yes.
right? The taxes.
No, that's not
You're
true.
talking about
That's not
90%
true.
of the
That's not
taxes
true.
come from the capitalist system. So
No. Most of the taxes.
from us income tax wise
No.
doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah, no. That's not true. If you look at how much money some of the biggest corporations like Amazon have paid in taxes, like they pay negative taxes, and also
Hold on.
wait, hold on. Also, wait, give me 1 second, right? Also, you can't compare income tax because most of the money that people like rich people make, most of the money that like rich people make is through their capital gains, right? If we have to look at the amount. I'm sorry, what?
No, and the reason why I say no is because you're not taking into consideration. All these people keep talking about the tax breaks for the
Yeah.
corporations and everything. Do y'all understand how many people the corporations employ? So are y'all adding all the money that comes from all those employees? No, you're not.
Yeah.
If you
Smell my
did,
finger.
you'd see that every dime
Yeah.
comes from capitalism.
Smell my finger.
Every
When do you
time.
think was the most productive time for the United States?
Probably right now, to be honest with you.
You think right now?
Yeah, as far as production wise, no. Production wise
Well-
was back when we had our manufacturing. We don't have that anymore. We
Okay,
import
so
everything now.
that'd be like the '60s, right? That'd be post.
I'd say the '60s and right, yeah.
Hey, what do you
50s,
think?
60s.
What do you think the tax rate was at that time for capital?
It got up pretty high. Depends
Yeah.
on which president you're talking about, but it got up really high there at one
Yeah.
time. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It was like 90. I mean, they still had tax
Right.
cuts, but like
you see my point though, right? I mean, people are saying, we're giving the corporations tax breaks. Look, dude, that is who is paying all the taxes when you add all the employees.
Smell my finger. But here's the thing, right? You're pointing to a time where the best point in history that we had, right, is also the point in history where we had the most amount of taxes on them.
That was more tax on individuals.
No, it's capital gains.
Well,
capital gains is like
stocks.
stocks.
Then.
Yeah, capital gains is like
war,
stocks.
I mean, we were paying into 90%, man. That was crazy.
No, but the top 1%, the top creme de la creme, right? Those people were paying like basically an effective 90% tax rate.
Oh yeah, they were definitely getting raped.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And that was the best time that you're pointing to.
But see, that stifled the corporate corporations back then. You know what I mean? That stifled them.
Yeah.
When you take the
Small my
tax
finger.
burden off of them,
Yeah.
it frees up more money, and they
But
can
that was the
hire
best
more people.
time. And wait, hold on. Small my finger. Also, like with that money, we were able to fund the GI Bill. We were able to get people to go to school, to train them to be engineers, and like get all these niche jobs, right? They're like post World War II, right? And post what's it called? Great Depression, right? There were a lot of socialist programs, especially after Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right? So like we went through a period of unregulated capitalism before the Great Depression, right? And then once we had, the Great Depression, we had to create, socialist policies like,
Joey, look, I agree. I agree that there are some programs, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing with capitalism is that we do have our ups and downs, and sometimes the downs are pretty ugly. But at the end of the day, look where we are today. We recover. America is still here. Is the strongest. We recover, absolutely. Look at, like you mentioned earlier, the USSR. Did they recover?
I mean, no.
No, and that's the thing, with capitalism is that we have our ups and downs like any trend, but at the end of the day, we remain standing.
Vega, we're doing the same thing we did. I told you about earlier, right? Where we're looking at Nikes, the Nikes that we're wearing, and then using our bad experience with those Nikes to say that all shoes are bad, right? It's the same. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, but there's no thriving communism that we've seen that collapsed and then came back again. Right now, is there?
Here's the thing: if you're looking,
hold on, go ahead, Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're constantly looking for precedent to like establish, if you're constantly looking for some like historical example to establish some reason to do something, then if I went back in time to like feudalism, right, I could use this exact same argument to say we shouldn't do capitalism, right? Because we don't have an example of it. Right?
Joey, but with all due respect, you did go back to history, blaming the U.S. for what happened. What happened in Central America and South America?
Yeah. Well,
so data is very important, isn't it?
I'm sorry, what?
Data is very important.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the same types of data.
Well, exactly. So you're sort of being picky with certain data, and some yes and are valid, and some no.
Okay. Well, all right. What's the different types of data then?
So the data that I'm saying is that under capitalism, we have our ups and downs, like you mentioned, the Great Depression. It's pretty bad, but here we are today. We're still up and running. Are we doing the best right now? No, we're not. But I'm sure we're going to continue. At some point, we're going to get out of this mess that we are in.
Why do you think? Oh, well, never mind. I was going to ask you.
Do you know why we're doing so bad right now? And I can tell you firsthand why we're doing so bad right now. Because we have an anti-American party. Half our government is anti-American party. Democrats are anti-American. Okay, it don't matter if the Republicans come up with a good idea, and they're just as much to blame too on some things, because it don't matter what good idea you come up with. Whoever comes up with it, the other side tries to stifle it, because neither one of them want to have the other side to have credit on something good that they've done. Nobody wants to. They want to stifle it. They want to stop it. That's what's wrong with our government right now. Until we come together and we start putting America first and saying, "Hey, we're doing what's right for America. We're not worried about this little group here and this little group here. We're worried about America." Until we get back to that way of thinking, like they used to in the Democrats and Republicans work together for the betterment of America, we're going to continue to decline.
Okay, so I want to give. Hold on. Okay, I want to give the word to Lou. She's been waiting for a while. Go ahead, Lou, and then we'll go to Joey. Go ahead, Lou.
Hi, you guys. Listen, Joey, have been listening to you for a while, and honestly, with all due respect, I think that you live in lowly land. It's so easy when you live in a capitalism system to become a socialist. I mean, honestly, I just want to ask you, and I know that Jacqueline, her background, and I am from Venezuela myself, but again, I have been living here for many years, and again, I went to college here. I mean, I have a good job, and blah blah blah. But honestly, when I listen to you, my heart breaks, because honestly, when and then I hear Smell, and I totally agree with him, because I know that he was born here, and all my American friends and all my friends that have become U.S. citizen are kind of questioning why you had this idea of socialism when you have never. Let me ask you a question: have you ever lived in a socialist country?
No, I live in America.
Amen.
Okay.
And that's
Look
exactly
at that
my
up. Look at
point.
that up. All right, hold on. Do you think America is a purely capitalist system?
Don't try to play games with those questions.
Well, no. This is
Let me let
you're evading the question. No. You're evading the question. No. You're trying. No. You have to
Hold on,
answer the
Joy.
question.
But you asked the question. Let her
I
answer, and then you can re-ask again. Go ahead, Lou. You can answer that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Joey,
I
let me
asked
tell you
Jacqueline the same
something.
thing.
I have been in many life where people, especially, I don't understand why we people who grew up in another country appreciate more
Mm-hmm.
this country and more probably than you do. Uh, and my question to you is, why are you so, empathetic and just so in agreement with the socialist system when you have never lived in it? Let me tell you, and I know that
Okay.
Viga and I understand. We came from a country that used to be very wealthy, like Venezuela, very wealthy. When I came here in '89, I have no need to come in here. In fact, my family always say, "Why do you want to go to the United States when you have everything in here?" And I always have that vision that oil, which Venezuela depend on, Vega can tell you, I have this vision. It will always go away. I went beyond that, and amen, it turned out to be true. The beauty of living in in capitalist country like this one is it gives you opportunities, just like Jacqueline said. Jacqueline came from a country that was the poorest country in Central America, very small, and correct me, Jacqueline, very small country, no chances for anything. And guess what? People smell the coffee with a president that really believe in democracy, who believe in opportunities. Our country is still fighting for it. Still fighting for it. And you know why? Because from being a very wealthy country, people believe this socialism that you're trying to sell. That I'm sorry to say, for those who are listening and here in this live, doesn't exist. You know, our system. I'm talking about our system because I consider myself an American. I live in here longer than in Venezuela. In this system, regardless our problems, we have opportunities. And Jacqueline told you, I'm telling you, Vega can tell you, we came from countries where it was up and down, up and down. And the United States can go up and down, but it's the only country that gives you the chance around the world to be what you want to be. And I don't have respect for you when you defend socialism. And I came from a country that has capitalism went into quote unquote socialism, and today is one of the poorest country in Latin America. And please, Jacqueline, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I want to.
Correct. And it's sad because, I have to back you up. It's amazing that people that have never lived outside the walls of the United States have this vision
Correct.
and this manifesto as if they lived it day and night. And when I'm pretty sure you still have family and friends. I still have families and
Yes,
friends
I
back
do.
in my back home countries, where just having their basic needs is difficult to grasp. And over here, I can do whatever. Like, I can go bankrupt today. I can have my company going to bankruptcy. You know what? 3 years later, I can recuperate that bankruptcy and start all over again and
Correct.
thrive again. You can't do that back home. That doesn't exist. That is a myth. That is like something from the Twilight Zone. Is never going to happen.
Okay, I
But
want
yet we're
to.
here now.
Okay, I want to give the word back to Joy. Everyone had a chance to speak. Go ahead, Joy. You have the word.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ask the same thing I was asking earlier. Like, do you guys think that the United States is a purely capitalist country?
So you asked.
What?
You
What
already
is
asked
it?
that
What?
question, and
They didn't
they
answer it.
answered.
Yeah, no, they didn't answer it. They said that I'm playing. Lucadero said I'm playing word games.
But I
But
still don't
but but
understand
Both
what's
of
the
them evaded the
point.
question.
I did answer that question for them too earlier.
No, okay, no, but I'm asking them from their opinion. Like I know what you believe, right? But I want to know what they believe, right? If the United States is a purely capitalist country,
Joy, can I tell you something? The United
are
States
you
is
not going to answer? I'm sorry.
Joy,
Okay.
it's a capitalism, but they always have on the side those programs for
Mm-hmm.
people who cannot afford the
Okay.
system. Not
What are the?
everybody can
Yeah.
think like you, like
Okay.
Illegal like an eye.
So
No,
okay.
everybody
So
have the
so
capitalism
okay.
mentality.
So those programs that they have for other people, what are those programs called?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I mean, I mean,
What are you
Welfare.
talking? This is a simple question. This
seriously,
is a simple
I'm
question.
not.
What are they
Listen,
called?
I'm not
Welfare.
even gonna get to your level. I'm
Welfare.
sorry. You
Okay.
just
Okay. All right. So
extremely,
listen.
you
Wait.
know,
Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Listen. Look.
honey. You know what? I would
No. No.
advise
No.
you
No.
to
No. No. No.
move.
No. You've been
No, no,
talking
no,
over me this whole time.
Joey,
You've been talking. No. You're being
Joey,
real disrespectful. I've been
Okay,
respectful this whole
okay,
time.
one at a time. But Joy, in all fairness, you're asking multiple questions.
No. I tried to ask the same one question, and she keeps evading this. Right. Here's the
But
thing.
she
Right.
Go
Look.
ahead.
Look.
But
Look.
can you make a
Yeah.
statement? Because in all fairness,
Yeah. I will. I
she did
will.
just say right now
Yeah.
that they, in these countries they do have certain programs for people that
Yeah.
can afford it. So she did answer your
Yeah.
question. So
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead.
No. No. I was
But
asking
if
you.
you keep asking questions, she's gonna
Yeah.
keep answering.
Okay, listen, but the point that I was trying to get to is that those programs that she's pointing to that help people that are in need are literally called socialism, right? Free education, right? Public school, right? Free school lunch, right? That's called socialism, right?
It's called
Medi-Cal, that's
welfare.
socialism.
It's called
But
welfare. Most people strive to get off
yeah,
of it.
yeah, that's true.
thank you, Smell. That's
So
Okay. So,
perfect.
but all right, let's let. All right, hold on. Let's let Joey
most
finish.
people are
Okay,
striving to get off of it.
Okay, Finger,
Okay,
hold
they
on.
don't like it.
All right,
look,
Finger. Let's let Joey finish. Go ahead, Joey. Get to your point. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So listen. So when you say to me like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like to live in a country that has like socialism," right? Like I live in a country that has socialism, the United States,
What?
right?
Oh my God,
Public
honey, I'm
education.
telling
Look at
you.
that. Look at that. Look at that. Let me. No, you're interrupting. No, no, no. It's my time to talk.
Hold on, Lou.
It's my
Hold on,
time
Lou.
to talk.
Let's let him finish. Go
It's my
ahead,
time to
Joey.
talk.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Joey. Finish.
This country has socialist policies, right? That's called public education. Public education is a socialist program, right? Same thing with welfare. Same thing with Medi-Cal. These things are socialist programs, right? What I'm saying is that we should expand these, right? We already have these programs, and you're saying that I don't know what it's like to live under socialist policies. I have socialism. I live in California right now. Like I have Medi-Cal. Like I'm pretty happy with it.
You have the worst governor in the United States. How about that?
Yeah, yeah, he's a neoliberal. Yeah, he's a Democrat.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
What are you talking about?
How would you recommend that we expand on that?
Guys, so just for context, because I know some were not here before. So Joey said that he's actually in disagreement with the Democratic Party because he believes that they are more on the neoliberalism side, which includes some capitalism within their policies. He wants total socialism like Bernie Sanders, where he wants pretty much free housing, free healthcare, free education, free food. So he's not in agreement with the current Democratic Party. Just to be clear, as to you might be confused as to why he's attacking the Democratic Party.
You should also mention the funding part, like how much.
Joey, what do you do for a living?
I work with autistic kids.
With the
Like
what?
I'm autistic kids. I'm a behavioral therapist.
Oh my God, I'm kind of, I am shocked that somebody, and again, I live in the Northeast, and
Yeah,
you know how expensive it is in here. And what state do you live? You said you
I live
live
in
in
California.
California. Okay, you know, I am kind of amazed and shocked that you had this kind of mentality about socialism, and even though you know you can have
The
your own
federal
business.
government pays
Oh,
me.
do
I
you?
work for a socialist program.
Okay, hello. If you get, let's say you lose your job, then what happened?
How would I lose my job?
I'm asking you, if you get to lose your job, what would you do?
How will I lose my job? Like
I'm
government.
asking you, it can happen. Everything can
It's
happen.
just a hypothetical, Joey. Just a hypothetical.
Yes.
Hypothetically, I'd find another
What would
job.
you do?
I'd find another job.
Yeah,
I'd like to
well,
add
you'll find
something when I
another
get it.
job, but guess what? I got news for you.
What?
In this country, you have the chance to become independent, to have your own business with your
Okay.
degree.
What
I do
does that
work
have
with a
anything to
lot
do
of
with,
people
with
with
me
your
getting
degree,
fired,
by the
though?
way.
What does that
I
have to
do
do
work
with?
with a lot of, excuse me, I do
Okay.
work with a lot of people with your degree, and they are independent, and some of them work for the government. You're right. But I feel that you are too comfortable. No wonder why you believe in socialism.
I mean,
And that's the
it's
socialism
it's
mentality, to depend
it's.
on the government. Now I understand you, sweetheart.
I'd like to add
I don't think
something
you do.
too. All right, when you give everybody free housing and free health
Mhm.
care and free, what is their motivation to do anything? What do you think that
Correct.
does to the people, the young people? Because young people are not motivated unless you motivate them.
Okay,
So
Finger.
if you put
Okay.
young people out there and you're giving them everything, then what is their motivation to try to strive to do anything better?
Okay, Finger. So you asked the question. Let's let Joey respond. Go ahead, Joey. Respond.
Well, me and Vega were actually talking about this earlier, right? Like the idea of like just being productive for the sake of just productivity, right? It doesn't necessarily mean like that's good for society, right? If you could pay for like just to I really wanted to add like a really critical point to when Vega was summing up my argument because he missed a really important point. But before I get to it, do you guys know how much it costs? How much like the government collects in taxes every year?
Joey, but can you tell us, because if you ask the question, right, you're going to have everybody speaking and it's going to cut from your time of speaking. So
Sure.
make your point, because if you keep asking, then we're going to go in circles.
Yeah, okay. It costs us about like $1 trillion like in taxes every year. For the past 6 years, the Pentagon has failed a financial audit where they can't account for $7 trillion, right? That means we could have paid for our government 7 times over for what we've paid into the military industrial complex, right? Like the amount of money that it would cost to do these things that I was talking about earlier, right, is so small compared to the amount of money that's already being leached out of the system by companies like Raytheon or Boeing or any of those like military, missile builders, right? Like those people basically like fund politicians to run campaigns that then give them contracts, right? Like that's the system that we have right now.
Okay, so then Joey, so just to go from that statement, so then because we have that, right, as you said, then we are not in a socialist country, correct?
That's a capitalist country. I mean,
right, because earlier you said you live in a socialist country, so then it's not a socialist country.
Here's the thing. I feel like the people that run it are capitalists, right? But the government, right, it is mostly capitalist, but it has some socialist policies.
Yeah, Joy, but and with all due respect, I have to press you on this because 5 minutes ago you said you live in because Lou asked the question, have you lived in a socialist country? You said I do, but then now you're saying that it's a capitalist country.
Country that has socialist policies.
Right, but she was specific. Do you live in a socialist country itself? And you said that you do.
But here's the thing. Well, that's why I was asking her if she believes that the United States is a purely capitalist nation, right? It's not.
No, and she answered that there are certain programs for people that need certain things that they cannot afford.
Yeah, and that's.
But that doesn't mean we are a socialist country 100%.
Correct.
She meant.
But yeah, we got to get away from these 100% absolutist arguments.
Well, right? Venezuela is a socialist communist country 100%. She meant, have you lived in a country like Venezuela? Because they exist.
No, I haven't lived. I don't have to live in a country like Venezuela to look at the policies that we've enacted in our country for socialism that have been really good, right? I can look at the public educational system that we created and be like, socialism in this aspect was good, right?
Look, some programs that help the poor that need it are not bad. We're not saying that.
Right.
I don't think nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is when we had the conversation earlier, you said in your perfect world, you would like the U.S. to be 100% socialist, right? Where the basic needs like housing and food and health are completely free, right? And then you even said that people could go to college for free and work out of the kindness of their heart or / passion. So that would be 100% socialism according to you. Yeah. But then I also brought up the point about a totalitarian government that will be on top of that, right? Because it's not going to be in charge of the community as you think it would be in a beautiful world, as the Democrats paint it. It would be the people are under control of the situation of the government, but that's not how it works. Once you give them power, they become completely totalitarian. So the question was that, well, I guess the point what Lou was trying to make is that you're saying these statements because you really haven't lived in a completely socialist / communist country. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
Say something.
And also,
So
go ahead, Jacqueline.
My brain is about to explode like the 4th of July. I'm sorry. I lived in California. That's where I immigrated. Okay, I have family in California, and what California was prior to having who we have in charge right now, It was a beautiful state. It was
Right.
I mean, it was everybody wanted to live in California. Surfing, the
Absolutely.
weather, Hollywood, the film. I mean, you name it, it was there. You go to I just went to California for my birthday in April, and I felt I was back home. I felt like I was going back to those countries that I escaped from. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so how did that happen?
Mhm. Just
Okay,
like New
so
York City.
socialism, in
Hey, Joey,
capitalism,
Joey, have you
we
ever been
don't
on
have a
welfare?
voice.
Okay, hold on. Let's let Jacqueline finish. Go ahead, Jacqueline. You have the word.
So in those soils, individualism of choices and voices and empowerment and opportunities, and say, no, I want to live in a condo. No, I want to move to a townhouse. No, I want to, I want to build a house. We don't have that freedom. Everything is dictated by a government. Even how much rice of a bag, of the bag of beans, if they give you two choices, beans and rice, or tortillas. You don't have that. You don't have steak. You don't have shrimp. Forget
Mhm.
about any lavish,
Mhm.
food. So I don't know, where is this individual thinking that, oh, he wants free of this? There's no such thing of free, my friend. That does not exist. You give up your freedom. You are the freedoms of choices are like taken from you. A particular regime has control of everything.
Okay, so Jacqueline brought a point that you get under socialism, you get everything for free, but you lose your freedom. Finger, you wanted to ask another question to Joey. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I wanted to ask Joey, have you ever been on welfare?
Have you ever been on welfare? Was the question. Okay, Joey,
Yeah,
you have the word.
my mom, she used to be on welfare when for a little while. She got laid off
Okay,
during 2008,
okay.
and
That's what welfare is for people that got laid off.
yeah,
But see what you're talking about socialism. That's really the biggest part of America's socialism is our welfare system, right? So
yeah. Also,
we have
education.
generations and generations of people that are on welfare, and they learn it from their parents and their welfare mentality, and it carries on from generation to generation. And the reason why it does that is because they get conformed to getting that money, and they don't worry about, I could do a lot better if I applied myself. They just get caught up in, well, I don't have to work. I can spend my time doing whatever I want to do, and I can just draw money from the government and live this meager existence. And it perpetuates every generation. And that's why welfare keeps costing us more and more money. You know, we everything about socialism is a pipe dream. Everything about it is a pipe dream. If you get out there and you strive, these two girls up here, they are amazing because they come over here with nothing, and you got one up there that's getting ready to get her PhD. And I'm sorry I didn't catch what the other one does, but I'm just saying by listening to her talk, she's not a dummy, and she's got things figured out. So everything about what we have in this country that is socialism is only declining America. So I don't know why you can't see that.
Correct.
It costs
Okay.
everybody more in taxes. It ends up getting more bureaucracy, and you got politicians running on it, and people are voting for welfare. There's people out there that that's what they whatever the welfare system's doing. This whoever the politician is pushing it. That's who they're going to vote for because that's their life. So you are not even looking at the big picture, man. The greatest thing about America is, like she said, if you apply yourself, you can be any damn thing you want to be. People have come from nothing and are sitting on the top of the ladder right
Right.
now, and they
Right
came from
here.
really crappy places,
Yep.
So
I agree with that. Thank you, Finger. Okay, I wanna let Joy respond. Go ahead, Joy. You have the word.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question. Because you mentioned earlier that the cost of welfare is going up, and that it's getting more expensive and all this stuff. Hopefully, because I don't have a computer in front of me. But Vega, do you think you could search how much welfare cost us, like out of our taxes?
Yeah.
Let me
Fully.
look it up.
Yeah, cool. Thank
I
you.
don't even want to know.
What do you guys think it is? You guys want to take bets? Want to do some capitalist gambling?
I know we spend more military,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
what keeps us safe, bro. You know what I mean, that's what keeps us. That's what keeps the rest of the world at bay.
Okay,
If we drop
this
our
is per
military
the
budget, they would come over here and attack us in a second. If they knew that we didn't have our shit together, they would attack us, bro.
budget that House.gov. In fiscal year 2022, the federal government spent $1.19 trillion on more than 80 different welfare programs.
Okay.
That represents almost 20% of total federal spending and a quarter of tax revenues in 2022, or 9,000 spent per American household.
And that
Ouch.
goes, Vega, and that's because of the taxpayers who are working and paying into the system. As a social services individual
double.
by myself, it goes after the individuals who are providing and putting into the system. I demonstrated my children from the day they were born, everything that they just think about it, they're in their 20s and early 30s. Okay, they have visited our home countries, and guess what, they're not in favor of socialism. They say they love capitalism, because I made them understand the difference between both of them. And I am glad there is services for certain people that they do need it, for the mental ill, if you know, whatever, that is what life is about. But if you start to show your children from the time that they are born the capitalism and becoming whatever it is that they choose to be, they're going to put into the system, and we're going to have better roads, we're going to have state-of-the-art hospitals, we're going to have state-of-the-art universities, and we're going to continue to make progress as a nation as a whole, not eating off this out of the system. I do believe what Kennedy said is not what you can, you know, what the country can do for you is what you can do for the country. I never forgot that since I was, you know, I came to the United States, never. And that stuck on my head like crazy. That's why that is why I'm the person that I am. And that is why my children are not paying it forward and reaping the things that they're doing for this nation and being grateful for what I did for them and what the nation has done for themselves too. I don't believe on what Joey is saying.
Okay.
We're gonna ruin ourselves as a nation.
Okay, so they answered the question. Go ahead, Joy. You can respond.
Yeah, no, I wanted to know, because you mentioned that figure earlier, right? So that's $9,000 a year. Is there a figure that shows us like how much that is out of our hourly pay?
No, that would take longer to look into.
Really? Okay. Because last time I looked into it, it was something like when you take that $9,000 number, right? You divide that by 52, which is the amount of weeks that there are in a year, right? And then you divide that by the amount of hours that you work in those weeks, right? And you end up getting a fraction of what that $9,000 is, right? So $9,000 sounds like a lot.
Okay, I thought you meant like what to calculate the average income of the American. I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah. I was
Okay, but what would be your main point out of that, though?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like the relative difference between the cost of welfare, right, of like all these programs, right, and the like in terms of like our hourly pay versus things like the military, right, that gets like half of our budget. Same thing with like our city budget. Most cities, they spend like 50-60% on police. And
they have to.
I mean, no, they don't, because do you think crime has gone up or down?
Up.
Up? Since when?
Yeah, when
Since
the
the 90s?
population goes up, crime goes up.
Okay, do you think? Okay, but do you think crime has gone up since the 90s?
I mean, Joan, you're being very specific. You're being very specific to certain.
No, I am, because
we had a big gang war going.
Yeah, we did. But my point is that like,
Joey, you live in California. You tell us. You tell us.
What are you talking about? Tell.
She's referring to crime.
Dude, crime is fine. I live in Los Angeles.
Fine, in California.
I live. Yeah, I'm like I feel safe. I feel fine. Like I live in.
You live in Lowly Land, honey.
No, dude. I actually live here. I live in Highland Park, California. I live in like a used to be pretty bad neighborhood.
How about homelessness?
Joey,
I know some guys.
Have you seen
I used to work. Wait, hold on. No, hold on. I used to work with homeless people. Like, but before I did my job, I used to work at a housing trust in Skid Row.
Can you tell me what's going on in San Francisco?
Yeah, you know, not all those people are bad people. Like a lot of
I'm
those
not
people are
saying
just out on their
that.
luck, dude.
Joey,
Oh my
can I
God.
add something? Hey, Joey, do you know? Have you seen the videos of all the people just bum rushing in stores and taking
Yeah, I've
whatever they
seen that.
want and
I've
running
seen that.
out, big groups
Yeah.
of people? I have never
I
seen that
started seeing that the
in my
Yeah.
whole
community
life
going too bad.
But
I
you
until
hear
know what?
now.
several
You know
voices.
what?
Ever.
Yeah, you know what? That catches headlines, and I feel like that's really like a really sensational thing to like. You know, that's gonna get clicks, right? Regardless of, you
Joey,
know.
I have lived in
Wait,
California for 25 years and I
hold
never
on,
seen it.
Jacqueline.
Never.
Never seen what? Okay, all right. Listen, all right.
That is just little
Like,
clips from
wait.
the news. That is not true. When I lived in Santa Monica and
Okay, so
I live in Porter Ranch. So don't come and say and Universal
wait. When
City,
you
don't
lived,
say
you
that they
wait.
knew
Past
it.
tense. Wait, past tense.
Yes.
I live here now. I live here now.
I
You
go
can't tell me
there
what it's like
every
here
year.
now if you
I have
don't live here
family.
now.
My mother lives there. I go there
Okay,
every other
so then you
month.
have secondhand information. I have
No, it's
firsthand
not
information.
second. I
Sorry,
go
Joey.
there. It takes me
Okay,
35
I live
minutes in a
here.
flight.
I live here.
Okay, so when you go to the mall, it's normal for people to
Okay,
go in a group
okay,
of 50
Jacqueline, we're
people
just we're
to
just
steal
trading
stuff.
anecdotes. We're just trading anecdotes. This is pointless.
No, you're saying that that's little clips from the news. No, that is reality.
No,
I
here's
have
the thing. No,
family
look,
that lives there. That is
I'm
a
not listening.
norm
Hold
in
on,
Okay,
hold on, hold
okay.
on,
So
hold on.
all right, let's let Joey speak, Joey. But don't when you say I'm going to ask you something, then you're going to let them reply. So just state your point. What is your point? Go ahead.
Okay. When I say that those are clips from the news, I'm not saying that those things are fake. I'm saying sure they happen, right? But hopefully, Vega, if you could search this for us too. If you look at the amount of burglaries that there are, like in like how much money is stolen, or how much like property value or whatever is stolen, right? When you compare that to wage theft, it's like a fraction of that. So there are more employers that are stealing from their employees than there are people that are bum rushing the store. But yet we pay
So
more
hold
attention.
on. So
Wait,
just
hold
hold
on.
on a second. So
Yeah.
you're saying that that's
What I'm
okay,
saying,
or
no,
that's
what
excusable?
I'm saying is that we are prioritizing the wrong thing, right? We're looking at something that happens not as often, and we're not looking at the big corporations that are literally committing theft from their workers.
What happened when they defunded the police? What happened
We never defunded the
when they
police.
defunded the police? What happened to the
We
city?
never defunded the police. They're getting more funding
They
now.
did. Yeah, they did.
No, they
Ferguson.
didn't.
What happened in Ferguson when they made all the cops stand down?
That's not defunding the
They
police.
tore that city
That's
apart,
not
bro.
defunding the police.
When you pull the police back, and they did defund the police. The Democrats tried
Okay.
their best to defund the police.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're
Okay,
Yes, they
just to
did,
just
man. Look it up. Yes,
look
they
up
hold on,
Mayor
did.
Adams.
hold on, just
Look
to
up
add
Mayor
some.
Adams, and look up Mayor Adams, the mayor of New York, and see how much more money he's spending on the police. He's a Democrat. Democrats love
New
spending
York
money on the
City
police.
is going almost bankruptcy
He's
for
actually
your
doing budget
whole
cuts right
socialist
now
police.
for the NYPD. I just wanted to just bring up some of the stats because he mentioned about crime in California. Okay, so
Look
this
at
is per.
burglary and wage theft.
Well, hold on. This is in general. So this is the per the PPAC.org. Okay, California's violent crime rate increased in 2022. California's violent crime rate increased by 5.7%.
We're
from
talking about robberies, though. Remember the
well, hold
bum
on.
rushing?
I'm getting there. Hold on. It increased by 5.7% from 468 crimes per 100,000 residents in 2021 to 495 in 2022, while the rates for robbery, theft with force, and aggravated assault increased by 9.9% and 5.2% respectively. Okay. Homicides reversed a 2-year upward trend, dropping by 6.1%, and RPs remained essentially the same at 0.01 decrease.
Yeah, that
so
was
pretty
irrelevant.
flat.
Yeah, that wasn't relevant. Look up the amount of burglary versus wage theft.
Correct.
Right, and the people committing those wage thefts are our employers, right? Those are the capitalists.
But that's not happening throughout like the majority of the country.
Only
You
in
know?
the blue states.
I'm talking about the amount of money that each of these are costing us, right? That's how I'm measuring how serious these are.
But yeah. So the thing is that nobody's saying that there's not going to be corruption under any type of
Sure. Okay,
government, the economic state. So
but
just
when we
because you have
focus,
that under a capitalist government doesn't mean that we should
yeah,
go free
but
everything.
okay,
You know what
but
I
when we
mean?
focus, okay, but when we focus on the one that had the smaller example, and we intentionally ignore the one that's bigger, right? The one with the capitalists stealing more money than just regular people bum rushing the store, then we're being biased, right? If the data shows us that these capitalists are stealing more money, then they're stealing more money. There's no way around that. Yeah, we want to look at fucking Juan or whatever who steals a couple bag of chips, right? We're looking at that as like some great sin, right?
Bag of
Meanwhile,
chips. You must have not seen them going in there and stealing the whole
even
store.
that, okay, but even all of them stealing Gucci bags.
They closed the Walmart. In Walmart, think about
Okay,
it
Right.
now. They actually closed it down because it
yeah,
kept happening so much. And
yeah,
then you know what happened? Then the Democratic mayor, he gets up there and starts talking crap to Walmart like, they're assholes for closing the store. It's like, dude, what? I mean, Bo, look, we gotta have the police. That we can't be cutting funding on the police. Crime rates are going up, and the problem with it is people are not supporting the police. People are trying their best to try to make the police look bad. I mean, if you look at some of these videos the people put on there, for one thing, they're cut all to pieces. They cut everything out of what they did to piss the cops off and to make them do what they do. Uh, and they try to manipulate everything and make you think, hey, the police are bad. But I'm gonna tell you, I've lived in 3 different places around the country, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I have never, because when they come to my car and I get pulled over, I keep my hands on the steering wheel, and I'm a white guy. I keep my hands on the steering wheel. I say yes sir, no sir, and I'm polite and cordial to them, and I ain't never had a problem. But I have seen some of my friends that try to buck up to them, and they're white too. And I've seen them get cuffed and stuffed and scraped up, and you get what you sow, man. You get what you sow.
Okay, so I just because Joey asked, I want to be fair. Okay, just because he asked, this is per the legaljobs.io. In 2019, 8,500 U.S. employees. By the way, this was posted on May 23rd, 2023, and you guys can Google it. The title of it is 30 plus wage theft statistics. Could you be a victim? Question mark. And I quote real quick. In 2019, 8,500 U.S. employers committed wage theft, robbing workers of their wages and overtime. Workers lost $287 million due to this immoral practice. Some big American companies have also committed such thefts since 2005. Wage theft now outnumbers all other types of theft in the country. It reached $482 million in the same year. More than 100 times the amount of stolen, more than 100 times the amount stolen in robberies. Even worse, many workers don't realize their employers are cheating them.
oh my god, thank you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean, Joy, that we're going to give up our freedom to go
Right.
under a full socialist
You don't have to.
economy.
Okay, but that's you don't have to do that, right? All you have to do is acknowledge that the people that are stealing more money are capitalists.
It's not. It's not. That's not, Joey. That's not. You're missing the point, right? Because
What's the point?
the point is that in this country, you could be stolen, just like a business owner could be robbed by a thug in any of these cities, right? But you can bounce back. That's the difference. You can you have a choice to sue the employer. You have a choice to fight for your money back, right? You have the choice. But under socialism, 100% socialism, as you labeled it and as you proposed it, we would be without freedom.
Yeah,
where we would truly be oppressed.
Also remember, I said I was okay with some markets, right? Like for those finite goods.
And that's where I was questioning you by the time Finger came on. I was questioning you that you're adding some capitalism to it. So then it's not.
Again, like these things. If like capitalism is more than just commerce, right? It's more than just trade, right? We've had commerce since it's like 10,000 years or something. We've been trading things for a while, right? Capitalism is something that's like 200 years old, right?
Joey, I get that, but my point is that under your socialism idea,
Yeah.
you're going to have a communist government that's
No.
dictatorial.
No.
They
A
will
communist government has no money, right?
they listen, they will
Yeah.
take
Those,
over everything. As I explained earlier, they own everything. And yes, they may have some form of small capitalism that works for them to enrich themselves. And the people will remain the same. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. You
Why?
think because you think that under this socialism that you're in your per your idea, the community and the citizens will have control over the government, and that's just not correct.
Okay. All right. Let's say that's true. All right. How do we fix the system as it is now? How do we fix the wage theft? Right. How do we fix the rental costs? Right. How do we fix the healthcare crisis? Like, how do we fix these things?
By educating yourself. You
What do you?
need you as an employee,
Yeah.
you need to check your hours. You need to check how much you're getting paid. You need to do all this verification yourself. No one's going to do it for you.
right.
That's
Right.
why the
Okay.
article says, "Could you be a victim?"
Oh wait. Okay. All right.
What,
So
And
what
the
if I?
hey,
and the
what,
article
The
by the
survivor.
way, it's a really long article. I'm not going to get into it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it elaborates on what you can do to prevent it. But under socialism, under a dictatorial government, you're screwed.
Okay. All
hey,
right. But
hey, Joey, what
hold on. Let me
happened to,
respond to this
hey,
really quick. Let me
Joey, what happened to
just
healthcare,
give me
bro?
Hold
Joy,
on.
have you
Let's let hold
ever
on. Let's let
have
Joey respond. Go ahead. You want to respond, Joey? Go ahead, quickly, please.
So if your argument is okay, you can just look out for your own look out at your own paycheck, right? You can just make sure you solve the mystery of who stole from you, right? Right? What if I took that same argument and applied it to if somebody stole your car, right? And I said, why are you going to call the cops, right? Why don't you fix it yourself, right?
That's
No, no,
not
no.
the
You
same
will.
thing.
No, no. You will. You will take legal action. I'm just saying for you to
Okay,
notice because obviously this theft is a theft without a gun, correct? Well, I don't
oh
want to
yeah,
say the word
but in order to
without a
take legal
pew,
action,
correct?
yeah, but in order to take legal action, right, you got to go to a court, right? That's paid for by the county, right? That's paid for by our taxes, right? These like the fact that we even get public defenders, right, paid for by our taxes is also another aspect of socialism, right? It's
Hey,
something that
Joe.
we're paying for as a society, right, for everybody
When
to
you
have.
file, wait, Joey, when you file a lawsuit, you have to pay a fee.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So what do you mean it's not for free?
Oh, I'm not saying it's all for free,
You
right?
just
Hey,
said that
Joey.
it's
No,
going to
no.
be covered by the. Go ahead, finger. Go ahead.
I was
I'm
talking about
sorry.
the
I
public
just wanted to
defender.
add this. Hey, Joey, you
Yeah.
mentioned healthcare. What are we going to do to fix healthcare? Let me explain this to you. What do you think happened to healthcare when they passed Obamacare?
I didn't like Obamacare. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
No,
thought
but what
Obamacare
I'm
was
saying
terrible.
is you're saying socialist government, right? Well, that's what
Jacob,
happened
please
with
mute so we
healthcare.
can hear
Obamacare
finger.
They
wasn't
put
socialism
free.
though. It was
You know what
neoliberalism.
destroyed it? Hold on, Joey. You know
Yeah.
what destroyed it? What destroyed it was pre-existing conditions. That's what
Yeah.
destroyed healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we're this person decided not to do what they were supposed to do and give. I was paying $180 for health care before Obamacare started, 180 a month, which is very doable. I had health care. My deductible was $1,500. As soon as they passed Obamacare, it went up to $400 a month, and I had a $3,000 deductible. Within another year, it went up to $800 and I had a $6,000 deductible. So what happened to healthcare in this country was socialism, brother.
Okay, I want to give the word to Lou. She wanted to say something. Go ahead, Lou, and then I'll give the word to Jacob. Lou, you got to unmute. Lou, we can't hear you. You got to unmute the microphone.
Yes. I just want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on.
We can hear you now.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say so many things that I forgot. But this is the bottom line. They got, what I'm listening, anytime that I listen to Joy, it reminds me to a lot of my friends from Venezuela that wanted to go to socialism because they were tired of capitalism, So, and when I listen to him, it's like, oh my God, he really need to search. He really need to smell the coffee. I myself, I have seen that we are moving towards
These are just personal
socialism,
attacks.
that's scary.
These are
That
all
is so
homonyms.
scary.
Hold on, let her finish.
Yeah, I
Hold
mean,
on,
she's
Joey.
just talking about me as a character, not about my arguments.
Joey, we're
Yeah.
talking about your argument about socialism.
No, you're talking about me, who I am,
I'm
right? That's
talking
a not
about,
a homonym.
well, all that you have expressed is that you hate capitalism and you are in pro of socialism, which I am against.
Okay.
She's talking about your ideology. That's what she's talking about, not you
Exactly.
personally.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's all that you have been expressing all,
Okay.
during this conversation. My point is that, listen, the people that I came from used to think just like you are right now. Oh, criticizing capitalism. Venezuela used to be one of the wealthiest country in Latin America, and oh my God! But they made the mistake of focusing on one resource, and then they want their third party, and then Chavez came along, and guess what? This guy promised what you're promising right now: equality for everybody. I mean, free this, free this, free that, free that. And today we are the poorest country in Latin America. So do some homework, please, because we don't want the United States to go into. I mean, all that I can see right now. I'm living in New Jersey, in the Middle. I mean, in the Northeast, and it scares me how this new generation of American kids. My daughter is almost 29 and she has her own business. I raised her to be an American, with her mentality of, you know what, honey, you have to depend on your talent and you have to study. And and she did it. She have her own business and she's very successful. And you know what? When I see my nieces and my cousins, they have to leave the country. They have 2 degrees and they cannot do anything in Venezuela. So my thing is, Joey, I'm not saying, listen, and that's the beauty of living in this country. We have the right to speak the way that we are right now, and arguing and this, but socialism doesn't work. If you think about socialism in Europe, speak to an Spaniard, somebody from Spain right now. They don't want to live there anymore, even though in Europe,
Spain
socialism.
isn't
Hold on,
socialist.
hold on. So, yeah,
They killed
socialism
socialists.
socialism in Europe is different from socialism
No, no, no,
in
no.
Latin
The
America.
monarch is one. The Franco regime, right? Those were monarchists. They killed the socialists, and they're the people that stood in power.
You are going. I mean, we're talking about many years ago. I'm talking
No,
about.
this is the
If
90s.
we
This is the
hold on,
90s.
hold on. I have a lot of
All
relatives
right,
who live in
let's let her
Spain.
finish. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Lou.
I have friends and a relative who live in Spain, and they don't want to be
Okay,
there
that
anymore.
doesn't
But
change
because it's
history.
becoming, guess what? It's becoming just like Venezuela.
No,
Again,
it's
you
not.
are, you are,
It's a
you
capitalist
know, you're
country.
this, you are arguing a system that you have
They
never
still
lived
have a
in,
king.
and
They still have
somebody,
royalty. That's not
Joey,
communism. They still have a monarchy. Yeah.
Joey, again, monarchy doesn't make any. And again, we're talking about two different socialisms in here.
Wait.
Socialism in Europe, you have more chances, but they're limited anyway.
Yeah.
They can never have the chances that
No.
we have in the United States. Just check it out. Check it out. I have a
You're
lot of
calling
friends. Guess
monarchy
what?
as
I have a
socialism.
lot of Venezuelan, very educated friends that have come from Europe to the United States
Okay.
because they cannot make more money and they are limited at this point. My point is that if you really love socialism, you are in the wrong place, sweetheart.
Hmm.
Okay. All right, guys. Look, this is definitely a really good conversation. I really, I really enjoyed having this conversation because there's a trend that's happening right now, and I'm going to discuss it as I finalize the live here. Joy, do you mind if we can do this again? Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, I do have to go earlier because, by the way, tomorrow, guys, I'm doing an exception tomorrow. I'm going live tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm interviewing another migrant, and this migrant is only available on the weekends. So that's why I'm going live tomorrow. I usually don't do that, but it's an exception. So that's why I'm ending the live earlier today because I want to get some rest. But Joey, do you mind if we can continue this conversation? Because we have a lot more to talk about for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I suggest this topic though? We were talking about it earlier with Jacqueline.
Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to talk to Jacqueline about the history of El Salvador and like Central America. When I was talking about the Operation Condor and the College of the Americas. Yeah.
Do you want to? You said you want to talk about it at the next live?
Yeah, like if Jacqueline
Yeah.
could come on.
I
Yeah.
No,
remember
Uh,
Operation Condor, but I'm gonna read up on it.
Jacqueline
Man,
Finger
I
and
want to
Lou,
tell y'all, I
you
really
guys are
appreciate
welcome,
everybody in this live. I really
guys.
appreciate everybody in this live. Everybody's been cordial with everybody. Joey,
oh,
I don't agree with your ideology, dude, but I don't hate you either. And
thank
you
you,
know
dude.
what?
I really
This
appreciate
is
that,
what
man.
we this is the way we solve problems. We talk it out like adults. Uh Man, I'm telling you, I go in a lot of lives and I got to give the host credit. Dude, you're great, bro. And I don't know why you only have 15 people in this live. It should be hundreds of people in this live because you know what? This is a testament to what things should be when adults get together and have a conversation. We can disagree, but we ain't over here attacking each other and belittling each other and being arrogant and smug. I love y'all guys, and I hope y'all have a great night, man.
All right, you too,
Thank
dude.
you. And yeah, there's a glitch. I'm notified by one of my moderators. There's a glitch in TikTok right now that other lives are struggling to get the same amount of traction as they usually do. But no
Yeah.
worries. This episode will be posted, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of views either way when I post it on the other platform. So
Yeah.
I guess
no,
as
no
When,
worries
long
about
as
that.
the girl, the immigrant that we just worked with 2 days ago, there were a lot of people online. We were talking about a lot of issues regarding, and I'm pretty sure that Joey will be so pleased to be in that live.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Joy, I will contact you so we can do it again next week. Jacqueline, Joy wants to talk to you again next week about Central America. So you're welcome to come back as well. Probably it will most likely be maybe like I think Wednesday or Thursday have an opening of next week. If Joy's available, we'll do it again around the same time. So just keep watching my live so I can confirm when this will happen, and then we can schedule it for sure. As I dismiss the live, I just want to let you guys know this stats real quick here. This is per the Washington Examiner. And by the way, Finger, thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So, per the Washington Examiner, hundreds of young Democratic Socialists of America clubs have popped up on college campuses over the past few years. And 36% of college students admitted they even view communism favorably. These students are attempting to find meaning in an education that's meaningless, and they're eager to see change happen. So this movement, guys, is actually growing, believe it or not. It's happening. So it's really important to have these conversations, I believe. Okay.
Be careful what you wish for, guys. Be careful.
Well,
I do thank you, Vega, for touching these topics because I by accident I came into your live one day, and I used to work for the Department of Homeland Security for the undocumented alien children as a director of the Department of Education under the Obama. And I can tell you that you are touching subjects in other lives that people are misleading information about Trump going in prison. I mean, things that are not relevant. This is relevant. All the
Correct.
children trafficking that I myself working in that field have seen it, how it is a huge problem coming from the south border into our nation. Those topics, nobody talks about it except for yourself. And I want to say thank you for doing that.
Amen.
you're very welcome, and I appreciate that. That being said, thank you guys. Joy, do you have anything to say to dismiss the live since you're the special guest?
No, thanks. This was fun. Hopefully we can do this again. And yeah, I really appreciate what Smell My Finger said. But yeah, this is really good. And it's crazy when I came in
That's the way
here.
you do it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. But yeah, when I came in here, there was like 139 people in here, and like it just like cut off for some reason.
Yeah, it's something that's happening today with TikTok. It happens sometimes that it doesn't push other people's lives. That's how it is. But
It's
usually we
Friday.
have more people than this. Trust me. Yeah, it could also be Friday too. Jacqueline, do you have anything to say to finalize?
Very much for giving me the platform and sharing my story, escaping the war from El Salvador, and being sharing my my testimony about the things that I have suffered, and seeing families that have struggled to come to the United States, and now they're thriving. Now they're living their dream, and I appreciate everything this country has gave me and any of the immigrants that we have right now.
Man.
Jackie, we're happy that you're here, for sure.
Glad
We're
to
very
have
happy
you,
that you're here.
for real.
Thank
Yep.
you again, everyone. Really, thank you for joining. We will have this topic again, talking to a socialist next week, because Joy said that he wants to do it again. And so we have a lot more to talk about for sure.
Joy
Thank you,
likes to suffer. Bye, Joey. Bye,
All right, guys. I really
Y'all guys have a
appreciate
good night.
Good night.
I really appreciate you guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm interviewing another migrant. All right. Have a good night.